Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to True Crime Metrix. So, tonight, I thought, I didn't think. No, by popular request from our good friend in South Africa, our good friend in Cape Town, or is it Joburg? One of them has suggested to listen to the Katherine Magbanua proffer, and I realized I have never actually listened to it all the way through. It's a little grating. As funny as it is hearing Pat Sanford get a little rattled, Katherine Magbanua is insufferable in this proffer, which is funny because, okay, not all the time, but there are moments of her on the stand where I think she's quite funny. But not many, just to clarify that. But yeah, we've got a few more minutes to wait until we hit the proffer. What's going on with our image here? It's looking a little big. It's looking a little beyond the lines. See if we can fix that up right now. A few more minutes to wait, but that's okay because we'll find something else to do. How about a little jailhouse call or a bump call? Something call related, something short. But what happens in the proffer? You know, basically in the proffer, I think it's in November 2022, and she was convicted in what? May? Trial was in April, right? April, May, around there in 2022. And later, Pat Sanford and the boys go to the prison and they say, hey, you know, we know that you got the life sentence and you're never getting out, but do you want to just, you know, tell us what all happened? Tell us all the things that you didn't tell us when you thought you were going to get off. Because Charlie put you here. Maybe you want to speak out against him. Of course, Charlie's trial was coming up. That was held to what? Say December, January. Well, it was about almost a year later, right? End of October, 11 months after this proffer. Let me just double check the date. Well, we'll check it. We'll check it in good time. So as far as from the parts that I did manage to get through and watch at some earlier stage, she didn't really give up much in this proffer at all. But it is kind of funny because she's acting like she's giving everything. What is the deal, Katie? I mean, I suppose that she's hanging on to information until someone promises her something for it, right? But of course, they can't do that because if they promise her something for it, like if they say, listen, we'll forget about the life sentence and you'll just have to do the 30 years. I mean, big whoop. She'd be 72 by the time she got out? I mean, she's born in 1984. And this proffer was taken in 2022, so she's 38. So 30 years, she'd be 68 years old when she got out. If they let go of the life sentence, she'd be 68. And I guess there's time to do a few bits and pieces after 68. Do we have anyone 68 in the audience? Do you wish you were dead? Is there just no fucking point anymore? I'm just kidding. Of course there's a point. Yeah, of course there's a point. You know, creamed corn, drooling on the couch. I'm just kidding. Love old people. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah. So why don't we just listen to a quick call, and then the video will be ready. How many minutes we got? We've got 8 minutes left. That's perfect time for a call. We'll get a good call. Let's have a look for a call. Welcome everybody in chat. Mr. Pinto, how you doing? A cappella with your ranch. Good to see you, man. Newly Jan, Michigan. Let's guess where Newly Jan's from in Michigan. I'm thinking Kalamazoo. Definitely Kalamazoo. So, where are they? Put it like that. I can see everything.
Hello?
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 Oh, what's up?
Hi?
Do you know who this is?
No, I lost all my contacts. Didn't you just text me?
Yeah.
Who's this?
I work at Fate.
Where?
I work at Fate.
I can't. You work a steak?
At Fate.
Yeah, that's what he said, Katie. I work a steak. I work a steak. What? You work a steak? He works at Fate. I can hear that, right? Where he worked at Fate.
Out of state?
Fate.
You're eating a steak out of state? Where does she get this? She is not bright, is she? What is she? I mean, I'll tell you what she is.
F-A-T-E.
Okay, can you just tell me who you are?
D.
Oh, hey, what's up?
What's up?
I'm like, I've been getting like text messages like, hey, what's up? And like all week, and I'm like, I have nobody's contacts.
Do you know who this is?
You said B, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Harvey.
What?
Harvey.
Harvey.
What?
Okay.
His name's Harvey too? My God, how weird.
Okay, now I'm confused.
Did you say Harvey?
Yes?
Who you with?
Yeah. I'm confused as well, Katie. Harvey is calling you. He's eating a steak out of state. He works at Fate. And he's not going to be late.
What?
Who are you with?
What are you talking about?
No, are you at work?
Yes, I am.
It's B. The
You
letter
said
D?
Oh, David?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they said B.
Oh. Are you sure you're alone?
I know, I'm in office.
Oh my God, I don't know. I maybe thought it was this nigga fucking texting me for this. I was like, oh shit.
No, you scared me. I was like, what the hell is this?
Who
Yeah,
the
like
fuck
my
is
phone.
Harvey?
Yeah. He is a bit scary, isn't he?
We had an
You
Harvey
sound-
that worked at Fate?
I mean, if I got a call from this guy, I would be uncomfortable. For fuck's sake, what is his problem? Get the shit out of your mouth, man. Who are you? Why are you calling? Fucking hell. I work a steak? I work a steak out of state at Fate. It's D, as in David.
What, you said space or state?
I said Fate. F-A-T-E. The fucking club that we worked at. Fate.
Oh, I didn't understand. You said state. I thought you said state because he works as like what does he do? Like an architect.
Listen, don't try to
So he
explain
works for the.
yourself to me,
Shut
woman.
up,
Say that
whatever.
shit for your baby daddy.
Whatever.
What's up? How you doing?
This guy's such a nut. I'll tell you who Katie Magbanua is. The real Katie Magbanua.
Fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up where the fuck you fucking with me.
We love you, Katie.
What happened? Why are you calling me? You know,
What?
You know it's his birthday, right?
Oh, yeah, I know. That's why I asked for when I saw a text with this. I was like, oh, fuck it. I'm throwing my phone away. Fuck that shit.
When's the baby shower?
I don't know, hopefully soon. So,
Oh.
I'm actually calling you up because I'm hiring at this place, bro. And I could use you.
I know, man, and I really, really want to.
And it doesn't even have to be like an all-night thing. You know, it could even be, I know like sometimes you're shady with the whole fucking, oh, what if I make money, what if I don't? Like, I could use you for a door girl, or I could use you for a promo girl. Like, we're paying $15 an hour for that shit.
Okay.
Whoa, $15 an hour. This is the big lead. This is why we live in Miami, right? Because we get paid, bitch.
Okay. Plus.
I mean,
plus
$15
this?
an hour, you're just Well, yeah, I mean, if you're the door girl, you get $15 an hour plus tips, and you just sit there and do fucking shit.
I know. I do it. Is it like cash at night? Like,
well, no, the $15 an hour obviously goes on check because it's fucking legit. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Has anyone actually wanted a job like that? You just sit there and do fucking shit. I mean, I like to be involved, you know. I like to get creative and think about how we can improve, and you know, just keep busy. That's what it's about. I mean, if you're not doing a job you love, leave. Go and do something you love. You'll be better in the end. You know, you'll be better in the end. You'll make more money in the end if that's what drives you. I mean, you know, just do the things you love.
Because everything is paperwork on them, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then, but obviously the tips are pure cash. That's the door
girl.
Do
they tip though?
Yeah, the door girl. The door girls at the strip club gets tips. Fuck, everybody at the strip club gets tips. The fucking
what's the hour?
Oh, this guy's like a wannabe pimp, right? Yeah, come and work the door at the strip club. Take off your clothes.
Or the cockroach.
I mean, for now, because we're not that busy, I could usually let you go at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, 3 in the morning. 3 in the morning, because we stay open till 6 in the morning.
Derek's getting all excited about the cream corn. You're eating a big bowl of cream corn right now, aren't you, Derek?
I can let you go at 3 or 4 in the morning, or you can stay until 5. Obviously, you know what I mean. You want to make some hours, and you get in at like 8.
9, 10,
so it's
11,
like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. So it's like 7 hours.
Yeah, he can count on everything. This guy, stay close to this guy, Katie. He is going places. You know, he's making waves. He's making waves. You can't go wrong. Hey, Pinto likes the thumbnail. I kind of like the thumbnail. I mean, it's just a quick one. But I always like to capture when the eyes are on the camera, you know? Isn't that good? Doesn't that, you know, it just builds a connection, doesn't it?
Or 8 hours.
Oh, God. Yeah.
So I'm telling you, it's $15 an hour. You're going to make the money for sure.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Like, if anything, it was just a door. So I don't even have to, like, I could sit down. Are you going to give me a stool?
Yeah, bro, there's a fucking, listen to me. Right now, nobody walks in that bitch, but you're going to sit there all day and fucking be on your phone, chilling.
Oh, okay.
Of course, unless, you know, me and you have to talk in the office.
You're going to walk in there and you're going to sit there and be on your phone, chilling. Again, that would not appeal to me. I can do that at home. After work.
Oh, ew, whatever.
What, bro?
Oh, my God. Don't.
So,
your weirdness.
Cool. No, I'm saying though, what's up though? Are you down or not?
Yeah, well, I started doing like part-time here in the office. Actually, do you know anybody that needs like any place? I work in a realtor's office now.
Oh, what? You left the other one? I don't know. Who did you have me under?
Oh no, your name under my thing is Renee.
Renee.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fucking Renee.
Well, it sounds like a girl's name.
I don't know. I would be more like a fucking...
No, that's what it is in my phone, and I'm
or whatever.
No, I'm gonna save it that way.
No, that's fine. I'll be Renee.
Therefore, that is your safe word. Because it's a girl's name.
Remember
Renee? Remember Renee?
Renee is not the safe word.
Yes, might as well be.
No. Safe word. Hand job in the office. I can remember that.
Bye. I gotta get back to work.
Think about it.
I will.
The safe word is hand job in the office? What?
All right.
Bye.
So if you have any really hot friends who want to work, I need them.
I know. And I have a lot. And if you have any, like, friends, and if you have any, I actually do, okay.
No,
but
you
if
don't,
you have any friends
that have... homegirl's fucking not hot.
I know. But look, I have a lot of, I was gonna tell you. Oh, if you know anybody that needs
$80,000.
Where you want it, Waterview?
No, it doesn't have to be. No, it doesn't have to be Waterview. All I want to do is buy it.
Any specific area?
I don't care the area as long. I know it doesn't have to be Sunny Isles. It could be It could be somewhere in Hollandale, not on the beach, not on the water, like in that area by like Second Ave and stuff like that. Like I
what, a condo for what? A 1 or 2?
I mean, send me 100 a month.
Yeah, that's usually when. I thought I was gonna say you said like 1,000. I was like,
no. I said the
kick them out and
then
moving in.
No. The place that I'm trying to find now, I'm trying to find a place that will cost me anywhere between 70 to 80 grand,
okay.
And I'll rent it out for $1 grand.
All right, if I find you this place.
Okay, we got the video done now. Where is it? Where did I put it? There it is. They're arranging the chairs psychologically, aren't they? They're going to say, where are we going to sit? Well, let's put her in the corner so it'll feel like we're all pushing pressure onto her when we ask questions.
Unlocked if y'all need anything.
Where are you going to be?
I'm right in this, yeah, right here, right in the middle.
Okay, I can get you over there.
Of course, yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Is it a little loud? I'm going to turn it down a bit unless anybody... Does anybody have a problem with that?
Morning. I guess you knew we were coming. You talked to Chris. Okay. This is...
Is this a camera? Yes.
Yeah, we're doing it for all of our safety. We don't want it to be alleged that we came in here talking to you, so from the beginning we're just recording this whole thing with you. So this came back from Chris yesterday. He's signed the bottom of it. If you just want to look at it and review it, we'll have you sign it as well.
I think this is the one that like Tara just like
It's
went over.
yeah, it's the same thing, yeah. So if you just want to sign the bottom of it,
Okay.
the second page.
Today's the 10th or the 11th?
11th.
Ah, you see? Okay, someone was having it out with me. You see the date in the top? I know the Americans, it's month, day, year, but he's just said it's the 11th. So on this occasion, we're in October, and sometimes the time codes on videos that are backwards are year, month, day. Proof.
Okay, so here's what I'll tell you. Obviously, things have changed, and we're here without your attorneys, but you guys had the conversations, and we all talked as well. I kind of feel like it's best and easiest to just let you tell us how we got here.
That's the thing. That's like how I got to this point.
Well, start at the beginning. You know who we all are anyway, right? You know,
Okay, well, I guess we can do that. So we got Pat Sanford with the FBI, Sherry Bennett's with TPD, and I'm Jason with the State Attorney's Office, which you and I have met a few times. And yeah, if letting you kind of tell us how we live here is the best way to start. And we'll ask questions, don't get me wrong, we will ask you stuff, but...
Yeah, this is what I was afraid of, like, just with everything that's been happening and like obviously getting incarcerated, and then it's just, I've been like, you know, like with my guard up the whole time, and then like all of a sudden it's like, I don't want to walk into this room, and then it's just like, me just talk. Like, I know you
Let's
can
talk.
it's like, I can't, everything is...
Well, let's start it like this, okay? How did you meet Charlie? Let's start with that.
Oh, we're really diving in really quick. Yeah, way to break the ice, right? Just before, like, I know, like, you know, obviously, you know, I'm going through 2 trials and everything. Like, what would this be all public now? Like this, or just for protection?
Eventually, it will be. We're doing this because obviously, with the publicity of the trial and the amount of, you know, you guys didn't do this. You guys talked to her before you turned the
Context, certified fraud examiner. Certified fraud examiner says, give us some context, Metrix. I have no idea what the fuck. Oh, about that call? Oh, that call. That was just someone she used to work with at Club Fate, a colleague, and it sounds like he was setting up some kind of night at a club, and he was saying, do you want to come and work at the club at my night, and it's $15 an hour, but you don't have to do anything, and blah 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 blah. I think he was grooming her. It sounded like he was grooming her to maybe one day become a stripper, which would have probably been a better idea for her.
We're not gonna have. We don't want to have any of those games played. We would rather have everything, you know, recorded and documented, so there isn't. You guys sat down with Katie and told her what she needed to tell you. No.
Okay.
We didn't do that.
Yeah,
so.
because like my attorneys are not even here, so this
Right.
is like.
Right, exactly. So you know, this is my first time sitting down and being able to talk to you.
Yeah.
So we want everything, you know, recorded. So there's no question about, like it did last time, people were making allegations that we fed people and things like that. We're on the up and up. This is not, you know, this way it's been the whole
We're
time.
not here to
trick you,
berate you. This is this is
I
different.
mean, it's gotten to this point, basically.
This is your side of the story.
Yeah.
You tell us the truth of what happened, and
I
we'll
guess
ask
we
questions
should
when we need
start
to, but
it's whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Will you raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right. Now we got that out of the way.
Okay.
And all the confusion. Yeah, I mean, really, it's best to.
Does that really mean anything to you, Katie? Because I think we've heard you say that before, like when you testified in your own defense. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yeah, mostly. Look at her when she smiles, though. She's funny. It's funny to me, the things that Katie finds funny, you know? What are we at? 427, we go to...
I'm not here to
trick you,
berate you. Like, this is
I
different.
mean, it's gotten to this point, basically.
this is your side of the story.
Yeah.
You tell us the truth of what happened, and
I
we'll
guess
ask
we
questions
should
when we need
start
to,
with
but
it's whatever.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Will you raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
All right. Now we got that out of the way.
Okay.
And all the confusion. Yeah, I mean, really, it's best to start with, I think, how you met Charlie would be the best way to start. And then we can probably sequentially, you know, work a timeline out from there.
Okay. Well, I was working in Sophie Dental, and then he's like one of the specialists that came in. So then from there, he's, you know, like, we get the phone numbers from the doctors, from what I remember, and then we put it on our cell phone, so that whenever scheduling purposes, we'll, you know, we can contact or text any of the doctors, any of the dentists.
Okay.
So I went through there.
And just started texting, and then
Yeah.
you started dating, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
how long did that progression take from the texting to the dating?
Like, how did it evolve? Like, from being a doctor?
Well,
to-
this is like all the way from 2013, I believe. So, well, yeah, he was like persistent. He was just persistent about like, and I told him, I was like, I have kids, like I don't really have time. I don't have a babysitter. I don't have like a chance to just go up and about. Like I don't have that type of freedom. Like, so little by little, he was just, you know, trying to, oh, come on, let's hang out. And then, like one day, like I just went over to his house. I don't remember.
Time frame, I guess, would be late 2013, early 2014.
Yeah, that was 2013.
Okay. And you guys, it kind of grew from there and became more of a dating relationship, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. How long would you say you two dated?
like I said, like, you know, I've always said that we never had like, oh, he's my boyfriend, I'm his girlfriend type thing. Probably from 2013 to 2014, 15.
Okay.
What I remember.
It was
Because
exclusive, it was on and off.
yeah, like we've stayed friends the
Okay.
whole time.
Okay.
It's nerve-wracking. Sorry. It's
What?
just, you know, it's just like not, I haven't spoken
Just-
to anybody, you know what I mean? It's
And
like-
that's what we really, I know we're sitting over here on this side and it's intimidating, like, this is kind of a, and I'm sure that's not helping the matter,
Yeah,
but just try to talk with us. Just literally just sit there and talk with us.
black it out. I mean, black it out.
Yeah, maybe we can move it on over closer to the camera or the phone so it's not like straight in your face, I don't know. But just try to block it out and just, let's talk this through. So you guys started dating. What comes to mind?
Sorry, I don't know.
What comes to your mind? Because what I don't want to do is feed it to you and you.
What problems did he talk to you about? Did he talk to you about his problems and issues and what led
And
to
this
things?
is what I was like scared of, like, you know, from the information that I got from the trial, and then obviously, you know, when I go back in my bunk and I'm like trying to think back, like, it's like it's all perception. That's why I was like so irritated and frustrated, because as I'm seeing things being revealed, you know, I'm thinking back at the time and I'm just like trying to put things together, like, okay, was this happening when this was happening? And then it's like all getting jumbled in my head.
Okay.
And I don't want to give any
That's fine.
Yeah.
You're worried about your timelines. And you're worried about, don't worry about that. We can work timelines out. We can work timelines out with some other information that we have throughout this case. There's a lot, like you saw.
Yes.
There's a whole lot of evidence in this case.
Yes.
The first proffer, yeah, I mean, I think there's only one. There's only one I've seen video of. It's October 2022. Date's right up there, Pinto.
You can give us the events that occurred. We can work out the timeline. So if you remember a conversation Charlie having with you, I'll work on the timeline of when that occurred. Tell us what conversation you
I don't
remember.
want to see I don't want to see the wrong thing either.
Well, here,
Like,
how
I
You
about-
can't say the wrong thing.
The point is that Charlie Adelson's been arrested now for about 7 months, and he won't be facing trial until a year later after this.
make sure that I'm, you know,
Just, the biggest thing is because you keep thinking about everything you saw on trial. Take that out. We want to go by just by your memory. I know it's hard.
yeah.
Yep.
We're going by just your memory. Anything in trial, like he's saying, the timelines, things that we have in that, we can see how that fits in and figure that out later. We're going to want to go from your memory and what you were thinking and your experience, your personal experience with this, how it progressed.
Oh, Mary A says there's 2 proffers. Okay, now I remember, but where was the other one held? Was it in the same room? Yeah. I remember now. There are 2. Yeah. Good catch, Mary. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I have a channel.
In that stance, not taking all the stuff that you saw on trial, all the things that now make you think of it differently.
Yeah.
You want to know about how you thought about it at the time that it happened and how it progressed that way in your own experience, not by all the stuff you saw. So that should make it easier. So you just work on that, and then we can worry about the timeline afterwards. Let's just get through your experience of it when it was happening.
If you were telling us the truth and what you remember, Katie, before any of this nonsense,
Yes.
that's all we're looking for.
Okay.
We will ask the questions to clarify things. You tell us what you remember
Right.
that led up to this situation.
Okay. So basically, I mean, like what led up to the situation. When I was talking to Chris, I was like, just like things that are popping up as it went. And a particular day that I was thinking about was Halloween in Lincoln Road. when he did mention, but I don't I don't want to quote anything and I don't want to say anything wrong, like I said, and I just remember him, like, that's the thing, it's like as he's saying things, and like you all know that Charlie talks a lot, so he's saying things and it's just we're going in circles. I'm not like invested into the conversation like how he's thinking of the conversation. I'm just like, you know, like going basically with the flow. So I remember him that he did mention something about, I don't know.
She says that. Do you remember when she says, "Go with the flow, go with the flow," and the other one is "out of the blue, out of the blue."
If his sister was going through it, or his sister was having a hard time with somebody. He never mentioned that Markel, didn't tell me any names or anything, but that was a particular day, I guess, that I thought back, and I didn't even really think about it until like when all of it was like over. And I was like, Chris, I don't know why it's like coming to me now. Like I've said, like I blocked off a lot of things. I don't remember things. Like you can see in my second trial, I was foggy with everything. Like,
and those are obstacles we'll all overcome. Okay. We gotta overcome them just like you do. I understand you testified and you said things, and we'll deal with it.
Okay.
We understand. Okay. And that's, Chris will sit down with you, I'm sure, and and that will come. But just like you just did, you had a conversation. It was around Halloween. What's Lincoln Road?
That was in Lincoln Road. That's in South Beach. So there's like a Halloween like party where they block off like the whole section.
Block party kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's like a bunch of like it's outside. They always host that event. And I remember when I in a parking lot or like.
That's what a block party is. Cops like is it Sherry Bennett? I think it's Sherry Bennett. She's like, oh, so it's a block party? Katie's like, yeah, but it's outside.
It was like an outside parking lot, and that's the first time he's mentioned it. And mind you, this was 2013. This is like in the beginning, so
yeah.
I didn't think much of it. Like I just literally met him. Like this is one of probably an event that I can only pinpoint it because it was a specific. Like a particular event, I'm sorry.
Understood. But you don't, specifically what he said, you don't remember. He just mentioned saying his sister was going through something.
Yeah.
And you didn't pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's end of October, 1st of November of 2013. You were still working for Sophie Dental, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Okay.
I was fairly new in Sophie Dental.
Okay. So go from there.
From there, I don't know what happened or like in between, we started hanging out more. I'm pretty sure every single time, like, he'd either not mention about his sister, but maybe just like family issues, but like not specifically like it's always his sister or whatever. Like
right.
He never really went forth with that.
Okay.
So that was like towards the beginning, and I could just kind of remember, I know I spent New Year's with him, and then so like that's already like towards the end of 2013.
Okay.
And then what about after that? How did it progress from there?
Like I said, I don't know, like whenever he would mention anything about it, maybe every single time that we just, like we'd hang out. I don't know specific dates, like I said, but all of that's been like a blur to me. So
when you're saying he's mentioning it, is it like he mentioned his frustrations with it, or is he just kind of just talking?
yeah, he's kind of just like talking, like like for hanging out, watching TV, or like I can kind of tell, like his like if his mom is calling and he's like they're going through like family issues. He never really told me specifically anything, but you kind of like get the phone and you walk away like, oh, that was my mom like talking to me or whatever, like she's stressed out, my dad's stressed out, stuff like that. Nothing particular that I can remember.
Okay. So fast forward, I guess that's January, early in the year of 2014. So obviously Dan Markel was murdered in July of 2014. And as you saw in trial, Garcia and Rivera made a trip up in June. What can you tell?
All good with the audio, guys? Is it a good level on the video and the mic?
Tell us about that.
See, that, like, I don't even remember. I mean, obviously, like you're just telling me to, like, remember from what I remember, not from what I remember from trial.
Right.
I learned a lot of things from the trial. That's why it's so hard, and I want to say the right, not to say the right thing, but, like, remember from how I remembered, my days. But, like, my days are consumed with, like, taking care of my kids and just, like, me going through it with Sigfredo, like, you guys, all heard all the conversations and everything. Like, just the back and forth.
What led to the two of them making that trip to Tallahassee?
Okay. So when I was, this is, like, the hard part, because that's the part that I've never spoken of. Mm-hmm. And from what I just remember, I don't know the specific day, but I do know that Charlie had given a paper in an envelope, but he stuck it inside, like, I had like a diaper bag that I used to use for Kaylee, but I kind of used that as like a weekender bag, and he put it in there. Now, he's probably been talking about like, oh, like I need somebody to, get beat up or whatever. That's why I'm saying, like, from him, something happening to her husband to, like, obviously murder, that's like two different extremes. And
so you're saying leading up to him putting that in the diaper bag, he was talking about wanting to find somebody to beat him up?
Like, he's, little by little, I think he was feeding stuff in my head that he needed this to be done. But me nonchalantly, like, I was like, okay, like, I know in hindsight I should have, like I said, that's why I beat myself up a lot, because, like, I'm like, I was stupid. Like, I wasn't, but that's not what my mind frame was at that time. So it was kind of hard for me, and that's what kind of, like, I'm kind of scared of, because it's like, are they going to understand this? Because what I was going through a lot, like, mentally with Sigfredo too, was, a lot of, like, fighting, and then so it's like I found comfort in Charlie, because obviously he was the good time, and he was the one, that it's like when I'm with him, it wasn't stressful. But it led to my whole life being turned upside down.
Well, let's talk about this real quick. I know you took the stand, like we talked about a while ago. Yeah. You got on the stand and you said you didn't remember things. Yeah. That's in the past.
Yeah.
We're not worried about what you said on the stand. We're starting clean here. This is a new clean break. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry.
I know, you're fine. You're fine. Just it's okay.
Relax.
It's okay. Just relax. Yeah, just listen to me. You're already where you are.
Yeah.
Okay? Whatever you tell us now, if you lied about something, if you weren't truthful about something, it doesn't matter at this point. You're not going to get in more trouble for it. Okay?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now's the time to be totally truthful with us. It's just, to come totally clean, tell the whole truth all the way through from the beginning. Because Charlie didn't just slip a letter in without you talking about Sigfredo and getting to that point. That's what we're talking about. Tell us how you got to that point. I understand you're not going to remember time frames and things like that, and Charlie may have done this and done that and kind of led you to that, but how did that happen? What kind of conversation did you have about Sigfredo with him? And how did it lead up to that?
But the whole time, it's like I felt as if Charlie kept planting this seed in my head. Obviously, I don't know if, like, he knew of Sigfredo, like, he probably knew of Sigfredo from what, like, me venting and saying, like, like, he's giving me a hard time, like, in that point. But far from, like, what, like, I mean, like, I know that he's probably known that he's gotten in trouble, like, in the past. But Sigfredo's, like, since that we've been together, like, we, like, I try to keep him on the narrow and stay away from trouble, and like with like family life. Right. So that's what, like, this is through time that he's probably just been saying things, and I'm just like agreeing with it. Like, again, I beat myself up for it, because it's like I wasn't paying attention to, like, things. Like, I was being nonchalant about it, and just being like, oh, okay.
Nonchalant about it. I wasn't paying attention to things. I didn't know if he wanted to get him beat up, or to stub his toe, or, maybe murder. We didn't know. We didn't know.
And then, like, kind of just, then when I'm with Sigfredo, I'm, like, relaying stuff to him, but them really not knowing, you know, like obviously even with conversations, it's like I never said like, oh, I'm talking to Tuto, or like with him, he doesn't want to hear that I'm talking with Charlie.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like they both know who I'm talking about,
Okay.
or they know
So what kind of stuff were you relaying?
Right.
through each other.
Yeah.
That's where it gets a little blurry because that's through time that we're just
Right.
You know,
You don't have to say specifics. Just give us a roundabout summary of what the conversations were about. Because I understand you're not going to remember exactly what you said or exactly what they said, but you know the context of the conversation that you had.
That led up to this.
Everything that led up.
Well, like maybe give an example. So he stuck this envelope
Yeah.
in your bag.
Mhm.
How did you know?
I
what
mean,
to
like
do with
it
that?
had information
But
about
how did you know what to do with it?
because he's been like kind of mentioning, you know, like, oh, I need this, I need somebody to take care of this, and you know, I know like obviously I'm going to Sigfredo about it, but then as I'm relating it to Sigfredo, I'm not saying like I don't really know specifics. That's why.
So
I'm
what are
just-
you relaying to Sigfredo?
Yeah.
When you just said, I need someone to take care of this. I know it's hard to talk about, but we know what you're talking about, and we need you to talk about it. It's going to be, I know it's hard to say, what is he saying this is? I need somebody to take care of this. What is this?
Oh, the problem with Wendy's, I mean, like that's, I don't think he ever mentioned about her husband or whatever, but just somebody that's been, like,
I'm fine with you here. You're fine with that. That you didn't know that Dan Markel was Wendy's husband.
yes,
Fine.
yeah.
Cool.
What did he tell you, though? What did he say?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, move on. We're good with that. Yes, that is totally. I understand that they didn't have the same last name. Lois, husband and wife, you would think.
So what was he telling you exactly?
That he needed somebody to go up to. Like that's what I'm saying, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
We can understand if you're summarizing.
Right.
You're summarizing.
What do you mean, say the wrong thing? We're asking for the truth, you know? I mean, Katie's whole thing in this is like, yeah, I'll be happy to talk to you, but can we do a deal? And it's like, do you remember Georgia Kappelman? When she's speaking to the jury in rebuttal, and she's like, it's not my job to tell you why Katie didn't take the deal. Maybe she thinks she has fantastic lawyers. Maybe she thinks that if she gets convicted, she'll offer to do something for me then. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, what are you hoping for here, Katie? Either speak to the cops or say you don't want to speak to the cops. What is this middle ground? Just tell them you want a deal.
We don't expect you to remember exact conversations, but you know the context, which is
Right.
the actual meat of what the conversation was about. That's what we need from you.
Okay.
Like the actual
What did he
topic.
mean? What did he say to you, basically? Just in general.
That he needed somebody to get hurt, but like not to get to that point. From my understanding, was not to get killed, but to maybe like I don't know, if like rough up or beat up or whatever.
Okay.
At that point.
Okay.
So but that's what I'm saying. Like I just little by little, maybe he's like feeding things in my head, but I can't remember those specifics, and
Okay, so then you're relaying now to Sigfredo. So what are you relaying to Sigfredo? And I know you're not saying Charlie wants me, you're just talking to Sigfredo about a friend that has this problem. What's the problem you're telling Sigfredo?
just that.
What
that it's
exactly?
like somebody like I'm sorry, like I just like
I know, I understand what you're trying to say.
like not.
Right, we know what you're trying to say, but we need you to say it. We can't say it for you.
Yeah. Here's where I think you are. It's hard for you to say.
Right.
It's more hard for you to say than less of you don't know what to say. I think this is where this agreement that's signed into, this is where you have to clear your conscience. This is where you just say what you're trying to say. Get it out. We can talk about it. We're going to talk to Chris about this. Obviously, there's a lot of conversations to be had after this meeting that we're having
A lot
today.
of conversation.
Not with you.
Not with you.
Not with you. No.
Between the prosecutors.
No,
and
between us, and there's just a lot that has to go on after this. So just say it. Just come out with what you're talking. So Charlie's giving you something, and you're giving Garcia something. What What is it?
What's the agreement? What was Charlie going to do?
Something, yeah, like something needed to be taken care of for him.
And
for
what was
for Dan Markel.
Okay. And what was Charlie getting in return? Was he doing anything in return? What was he willing to do?
Well, yeah, like he would have, like the money wise, obviously, like, you know, like they would be, like Charlie's like, oh, they're going to be taken care of. That they're going to be taken care of.
Did he ever give you a number?
What's the number?
No, he didn't give me the number. He didn't give me a specific number for it.
He just said, go do this and I'll take care of you? He didn't say how much or anything?
No, not to me. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like now, like, you know how you guys were talking about, like, the $100,000 or whatever, like, he never said that amount to me. Like, I just know that they're going to be taken care of. Like, he was assuring me that they're going to be taken care of. Obviously, that's nothing to do, you know, like, that's what I'm saying, like, I don't have those facts
Okay.
for...
How did he know who was going to take care of it or who he needed to take care of?
I mean, I figured he knew that I was, like, going to go to somebody that I trusted and I would relay that to Sigfredo.
Okay. So he knew
I just
Sigfredo.
don't, I don't know if he knew Sigfredo like that.
Did you tell?
She's gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck is fucking with her. Thank you so much, fucking Pinto, for those fucking coffees.
It was Sigfredo, though.
No, I never mentioned that it was,
Okay,
yeah,
that's fine.
But you told him you would have it taken care of. He used to tell him about who.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, we're jumping around a lot.
I know, and
So
Wait,
you,
Well, the problem is
I just don't want to go the roundabout, like, you
we're
know,
trying to
like I
get
said.
directly to it, and that's what we. And you can help us with that as well. Just say it. Sometimes just let it go. You know. The envelope that was in the bag. What was it?
I never looked at it. He told me, do not touch it, do not open it. That he had, he would, as time went, like, you know, I think back about the things that he's saying, and then he's like, oh, like, I never keep money in my house. Like, why is he telling me that? Like, now in my head, I'm like, okay, is he telling me that so that he won't get robbed? Like, he won't turn around and he would, well, yeah, hindsight, like I'm saying, like, I figured this out later on. You know, he did have that safe in his house, but he'd always be like, well, I don't keep money in that, or I never saw any, you know, like, he's opened it before, but I've never, like, looked inside and see anything inside. When he on that paper, which I felt like that had all the information, and obviously I had given that to Sigfredo, but when I gave it to Sigfredo, like, I never, like, it was in my bag, and then I had told Sigfredo, like, oh, like, the paper's there, like, and he never showed it to me. He took it, and then he left. Like,
And this
Sigfredo,
would have been prior to the trip they made up in June.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know when he had given me that paper.
Did he? And that's fine.
Yeah.
Did Sigfredo ever tell you what was written on it?
No.
Okay.
And that's, like, the information that I wish I had, because that's why I
That's
was
fine.
so
Don't make it
hesitant
up.
to even.
Don't make it up. Don't fill in a gap that you don't know the answer to.
Okay.
I just want to confirm one thing on this.
Okay, so Linda Feldman, hello Linda Feldman, says, I don't think it was the money that compelled her to create such an awful scenario. Well, I'm sure it didn't hurt. But yeah, I mean, it does seem... This is why it would be such a good movie, right? Because each little independent party, Sigfredo, Katie, Charlie, Donna, Wendy, Harvey, each co-conspirator has a face value objective and a secondary objective, right? Let's go through them all. So, Charlie wants to be the golden boy. Golden boy Charlie, golden son to Mother Donna. But no, let's just do the others. Katie, yeah, the thing is with Katie and Sigfredo, I think, like, the way that their relationship was, you know, Sigfredo wanted to get back with Katie, even though he was with Shrimp, you know, and all of that sort of stuff. And Katie, I don't know, maybe she wanted to look like a Latin queen, you know? Shot caller. We hear her on the phones when she's talking ghetto, right? I fucked bitches up for no fucking reason. Fucking A, bro. You know, she loves this character. I mean, it's just like acting for her. She's not a gangster. She's just living in, you know, that kind of world. And not even really much, you know. You know, she wanted Charlie to do her favors. Ultimately, the story is about people pleasing, isn't it? All over the place. Charlie people pleasing, Katie people pleasing, kind of double people pleasing, setting this job up for Sigfredo, doing a favor for Charlie, getting favors in return, trips away, cruise with my mom, car repairs, not brand new car, you know, pink slip to a Lexus. Yeah, no, I agree that it's much. I'm sure she was pleased to get the money, but there's lots more going on. So
you told Charlie you would have it taken care of. So Charlie didn't know you were going to Sigfredo, but he probably assumed, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, but you didn't tell Sigfredo it's from Charlie, and you didn't tell Charlie you're going to Sigfredo.
Neverly, how many coffees have you had today? I know it's Nurses Week, and you're excited. But I've read about 50 hellos, and that's great. That's what a good chief secretary should do. And congratulations.
You just told him that you would have it taken care of.
Yes. Yeah.
So I understood what you were saying.
Yes.
So obviously you told him that you had somebody that could do this, or he wouldn't just give it to you and say, hey, just how did that progress?
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like through time, you know, he keeps telling me there's like something needed to get taken care of. Obviously, he's never said like, oh, that somebody needed to get killed or anything. He never said that.
Okay.
But it's like, okay, through time, he's like feeding to me, oh, this needs to be taken care of, this needs to be taken care of. And then one night that I had slept over there, he had put that in my purse. He's like, do not open it, Katie, like, do not touch it. Even when I put it inside in the envelope, like he's telling me things that he did, and you know, like I used gloves, I didn't print it in my computer, like he's telling me, he's like forewarning me, like don't even think, like I guess he didn't think that, you know, like he didn't want me to like obviously blackmail him or something maybe after, or.
At what point did you tell him you had somebody that can take care of this? If he's feeding you this information for him to print this out.
Hang on, I gotta go back. I was reading the comments. What's this about the blackmail? Just go back 1 minute.
Okay, is he telling me that so that he won't get robbed? Like he won't turn around and he would. Well, yeah, hindsight, like I'm saying, like I figured this out later on. You know, he did have that safe in his house, but he'd always be like, "Well, I don't keep money in that," or I never saw any. You know, like he's opened it before, but I've never.
What do you keep in it? I keep my collection of 18th century Portuguese bud vases. That's what I keep in my safe.
Never like looked inside and see anything inside. When he on that paper, which I felt like that had all the information, and obviously I had given that to Sigfredo, but when I gave it to Sigfredo, like I never, like it was in my bag, and then I had told Sigfredo like, oh, like the paper's there, like, and he never showed it to me. He took it and then he left. Like,
and this would have been prior to the trip they made up in June.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know when he had given me that paper.
Did he? And that's fine.
Yeah.
Did Sigfredo ever tell you what was written on it?
No.
Okay.
And that's like the information that I wish I had, because that's why I was
fine.
so
Don't make it
hesitant
up.
to even.
Don't make it up. Don't fill in a gap that you don't know the answer to.
Okay.
I just want to confirm one thing on this. So You told Charlie you would have it taken care of, so Charlie didn't know you were going to Sigfredo, but he probably assumed, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, but you didn't tell Sigfredo it's from Charlie, and you didn't tell Charlie you're going to Sigfredo, you just told him that you would have it taken care of.
Yes. Yeah.
So I make sure I understood what you were saying.
Yes.
So obviously you told him that you had somebody that could do this, or he wouldn't just give it to you and say, hey, just, how did
Well,
that
yeah,
progress?
like that's what I'm saying. Like through time, you know, he keeps telling me there's like something needed to get taken care of. Obviously, he's never said like, oh, that somebody needed to get killed or anything. He never said that.
Okay.
But it's like, okay, through time, he's like feeding to me, oh, this needs to be taken care of, this needs to be taken care of. And then one night that I had slept over there, he had put that in my purse. He's like, do not open it, Katie, like, do not touch it. Even when I put it inside in the envelope, like he's telling me things that he did, and you know, like I used gloves, I didn't print it in my computer, like he's telling me, he's like forewarning me, like don't even think, like I guess he didn't think that, you know, like he didn't want me to like obviously blackmail him or something maybe after, or.
At what point did you tell him you had somebody that can take care of this? If he's feeding you this information for him to print this out and take this step, at some point you had to tell him you had someone that can take care of it.
What did you tell him to?
That was like going back again that day that he had asked me in Halloween in the parking lot. I was like, oh, okay. You know, obviously the first thing in my head was like, oh, if somebody need to get beat up, whatever, like, Sigfredo's, you know, like that's money for him. So.
Deb H asks, is she covering for Sigfredo, Charlie, or herself? I think primarily herself. You know, she's alluding to not actually knowing that it was a murder, right? She keeps saying, he never said that, but he said it needed to be taken care of. And then he put the envelope in my bag and said, don't open it. So, you know, if she can suggest that the instruction to murder was only expressed within an envelope that she never opened, right? Then she wouldn't, I mean, it wouldn't help her. I mean, she's just trying to wiggle around the idea that she knew a murder was going to be, I guess.
Halloween is when you told him.
The one that
You said
how did I tell?
How did you tell him that you had somebody? When you said Halloween, is that when you told him that you had somebody that could do it, or?
To Charlie, yes. Yeah, I probably suggested, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I know somebody.
Okay, so you're saying that was at the Halloween thing?
Yes.
Okay, so that's
It's
only back in
it just is
October.
stuck, yeah, it's stuck out to
Okay,
me.
that's what I wanted,
Yeah.
that's what I was trying to get a clarification on.
So you told him you had somebody, you just didn't tell him who,
Yes,
and you just left it at that.
yes.
And you didn't ask him how much he could pay, how he could take care of, any of that.
He just always, he's always told me is like, oh, they'll be taken care of. Didn't give me an amount, didn't tell me.
So what did you
You
tell
know.
Sigfredo to get him to do it?
Like I said, I don't know how I told Sigfredo. I probably told him like, hey, like, you know, you can make some type of money if you take care of this for somebody else. He's like, okay.
But you didn't tell him how much?
No, I didn't know.
Or never gave you an amount or anything?
No, he
You
just
trusted
always
he would
said,
pay you.
yeah, I guess, stupidly, yeah. I figured
And Sigfredo
they
trusted
can
you
like,
enough.
yeah, like it's, like I said, like you got, like I'm the middle person, obviously I see everything now, like, yeah, like it was going through me, but I know. And you're like,
And it's fine.
You look back now and you feel,
I'm like,
You feel used,
I
like,
told,
yeah.
that's what I told Tara. I was like, listen, like, I was manipulated, I was used, I was, you know, and it's like, and I feel stupid because it's like, you guys are even like,
Keep it out.
I know, like, even through trial, like, you guys are, it's like, yeah, and I'm being truthful and that, like, when I see everything, it's like, of course, everybody's just looking at me like I'm a part of this whole thing. And it's
Yes.
hard for me to,
Yes, that's what it means to be the middle woman. You're a major part. You are the glue between the money and the killers. Put it in the diaper bag.
like, it took time, like, you guys didn't know what I was going through in jail. You didn't know, even with family-wise, you know, you met my brother.
What, you had COVID twice?
how do you just go about it and be like, okay, I had this whole part in this whole situation, like even conversations with like, that's why I was upset too with the Dolce Vita, because it's, once you see it in a different way, you're just, and then you sit back and you're like, I don't remember, like a lot of the things my brain has literally, and I wish like I wish you guys could just put something in my head and just extract all this information, but I can't. Time frame, which I know you guys can guide me with, but it's like, don't know what was said, I don't know how it went about, I just know like what, you know, certain things, and then from there, like I'll probably get back in the dorm, and then, I mean, like when I was in county, and I'll be like, oh my God, like this happened, or this happened, and then after that, it's like I push it away, I've suppressed so much of like the whole situation, and I don't want to waste anybody's time. I know we've gotten to this
You're
point.
not wasting our time at all.
I want an end to this already. Like,
Well, this is a way to the end, but like we said, you got to be totally honest with us.
Yeah.
You got to be truthful. I mean, that's all we're asking you to do.
Yeah.
To the best of your memory, give us everything you can. You know, I know it's hard to talk about. I know you don't want to admit it.
But there's
little
also-
things.
Some of it's embarrassing.
it's not just. It's not that. It's just my brain. Like I don't know how to explain. My brain has like blocked a lot of things. So I like even. Like, and then I second guess myself, and I do like the last thing I want is obviously to say I already know how this goes, and I do not want to say something that did not happen or did not occur, and that's what I'm afraid of. I don't.
Well, that's what we explained to you. We don't expect you to remember exact verbatim conversations, word for word what you said or what someone else said. But you know the context of the conversation, which is like what this conversation was about.
Yeah.
You know what the conversation was about with you and Charlie. You know at the trick or treat thing, the Halloween thing, that's when you gave Charlie, after he's been venting to you, you gave him the thumbs up, like, yes, I got someone who could take care of this.
Well, that's the first time that he's like kind of mentioned something.
Mentioned you trying to get it taken care of.
Yeah.
But he had been telling.
Christina says, I think Katie. Well, we'll read Linda as well because they connect. Linda says, I think Katie. I think it was more of an opportunity to sail away with Charlie. Mm-hmm. And then Christina says, I think Katie thought she really had a chance with Charlie and that he was impressed by her street smarts. She wanted to be the dentist's wife and have a rich, stable life for herself and her kids. Well, do you remember when, I don't remember when it was. I think it was, on the wiretaps. Well, it was definitely on the wiretaps, but I'm not sure if it was I think it must have been pre-bump. But it doesn't really matter. When Katie said to Charlie, oh, you spoke to your mom about me? And he said, yeah. And what he meant by that is he just mentioned something in passing. But Katie had taken it like, you know what I mean? Like that he'd spoken to her mom about her because she is becoming more important and, involved in his life and family life and so on, right? So she may have been getting keen. Of course, she misunderstood that because Charlie had not done it in that way. So Charlie was nowhere near imagining a life with Katie, but possibly Katie thought that was something she wanted, yeah. But then again, she's never struck me as being completely over Sigfredo, having enough, of his lifestyle and etc. But she seems to have always maintained a strong draw, even in terms of when she's driving past his house screaming that he's with a fucking whore. That's still signs of love, isn't it? You're still showing that you're, even when you're angry like that.
you, feeding you up to that about how he's frustrated with his sister's stuff.
Well, yeah, like little bits and pieces
Right.
like that. And then that was like something that stuck out. And then from there on, all that time frame, that's why I just don't even know like what happened in between. But like I said, I was living my life as a mother, taking care of my kids.
Right.
Like, yeah, I should have paid attention. You know, you don't think I beat myself up every day thinking about like I should have paid attention. I should have taken this seriously. But in my head at that time, it wasn't like a contract.
You're thinking
You know,
someone's just
like-
gonna get beat up.
Yes, like somebody to get hurt. Obviously, that's like one thing that, okay, you know, Sigfredo like would do. I mean, like we were financially like not, like he was doing his own thing and God knows what, like, I don't know. I don't even know why I went to him. I don't even know why this whole thing like literally like occurred.
Well, let me ask you
It
this.
just snowballed.
So you know, and obviously a trial came out and it was mentioned I don't know how many times. Charlie made the comment to several people throughout the years that, you know, tried hiring a hitman, but a TV was cheaper.
Yeah.
Had he ever made a comment like that to you?
Has he mentioned that
Yeah.
about the hit? I don't.
To you specifically. Not that you remember from trial, but did you and he ever have a conversation like that?
About hiring somebody?
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's joked about it? Yeah. I'm
Do you
pretty sure,
remember
yeah,
that
like
he
he's
did?
joked about it, but it's like we're not even, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's joked about it, about
hiring a hitman?
Yeah. He's very free with what he says, you know, and I never take, sometimes, like I said, like I literally like blocked it off.
Okay, so they made a trip up here in June.
Yeah.
Did you all receive any money from Charlie for that trip?
She literally even blocked it off. I mean, you know it's truthful when she says literally. Or is that just filler? You know? Is there a word for words that are just, whenever they're used, it doesn't mean what they should mean, you know? Literally. People say that way too much, don't they?
For when they
Like to help pay for the rental car or anything?
I've had, I mean, like, I'm trying to think. Whenever, okay, so Sigfredo got that paper. Like I said, he's never told me anything about it. Obviously, there has to have been information in there. Obviously, either one of them don't want me to know. And I don't want to know. I didn't want to know it, so.
And you told Sigfredo it was in there to get it.
Yeah, to get it, like just get it off the bag. Like I think he came over and then he probably went to the apartment, saw the kids, and I was like, oh, I have a paper for you in the bag. And then I just remember him stuffing it in his shorts and then walking out.
Okay.
And we never spoke about it again.
Okay.
Like I never asked him like, oh, what was on that or whatever, nothing. Like we didn't have a conversation about it.
Okay.
So, and then like, I don't know when Sigfredo like leaves. I don't know like what his, we'd be good, and then I don't know what's going on with him. And I don't want to know what's going on with him, so I kind of like block that out too. Because when I was with Charlie, then obvious, and just like that too, like with conversations, it's not like I'm there like planning things or whatever. It's just whenever I'm not with one, I'm talking to the other.
Yeah.
It's not nothing specific or anything that has to do with what happened. It's just, I don't talk to each other if like they're right next to me.
Right.
So obviously you guys weren't financially stable.
Yeah.
Renting a car to drive to Tallahassee is.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
I think it's that Charlie has given me money, like I probably told him like, hey, I need some money so that like, and I would always just say like these people or whatever, but now I'm thinking about it, like he knew it was, Sigfredo the whole time. So yeah, probably like asking for like
So
$200.
Charlie would give you all the money to pay for the rental car.
Yeah, like he'd give it to me and then I'd give it to Sigfredo, I guess, like so that he can go about wherever he needed to go. But I didn't know about the Tallahassee, like even like meeting with
You
Tallahassee.
didn't know where they were going. You
No,
just knew that
no.
the problem that Charlie had, they were going to handle, and they
Yes.
How did you know about that he needed a rental car? What did Secretary say to you about getting a rental car? How did you know it wasn't?
I mean, he doesn't. He has a
Miami. How did you know the problem wasn't in Miami then? How did you know he needed a rental car?
that he had to go travel somewhere.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know, like when I didn't know anything about like the Tallahassee thing, but I guess he had to go somewhere. It wasn't going to be local.
Okay, so did
Yeah,
he
I
come
just
to
didn't
you
know
and tell you,
where.
I need money for this, and
Right.
then
You say I need money for a car. I need you to get money from.
how did you know to go to Charlie and ask for the money that he needed? Is what he's trying to get.
Well, because from the whole thing with the paper, but he didn't tell me what was on it or whatever. But I figured like he needed to scope someplace out. So if he's gonna go somewhere, then he needs a car.
So here,
To do that.
alright. You're trying to
Hey, Katie, that felt like a lie. That felt like you were thinking on your feet, trying to come up with a reason that was like, believable and failed.
answer for Garcia.
What? How did you know he needed a car? Well, the paper. He had it and the envelope, so he said he had to scope out a place.
Answer for you. Garcia came to you and asked for, did he come to you and ask for money? Did he come to you and say, hey, I need money? Hey, what Garcia was doing is totally different.
Yeah.
How did it go from you back to Charlie, back to Garcia? How did that?
I mean, I would assume that that's what Sigfredo told me. He's like telling me like, oh, I need money, like, to go scope this place out. So he needed like a vehicle.
Do you remember having conversations with Garcia about that type of stuff? That, hey, I need money for a rental car. Do you remember having those conversations with him?
That he needed money, yeah, for rental car, I guess so, yeah. And then I would just relay it back to like Charlie, like I need money so that they, yeah.
That's all I was asking.
Yeah.
Just how
And
did
he
you
would
know
give
that
you
you
the
needed
money.
money?
I know it sounds like such a simple thing, but it's like I guess I'm just
You're trying to
my,
go through
my
your
brain.
memory.
Because
Yeah.
it could have been in Miami, right?
Yeah, I guess I mean I never assumed that it was gonna be in. Maybe that was just my assumption that it wasn't anywhere local.
Yeah.
You know, obviously if he's needing money, like what do you need money for? I'm not gonna ask you specifics. Okay, you need to get a car, you need, a place to stay, you need to rent somewhere.
So
I
I was
just-
asking you questions, just trying to refresh your memory,
Yes.
so you can bring up
Yes, sir.
details
Yeah.
about what you remember. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're not trying to trick you or get you off track.
And
We're
I
just
get
trying to refresh
that.
your memory.
I'm trying to recall back too of like how it even like occurred or what was happening. Yeah.
So at what point, how did Charlie get the money to you? Did he just meet you and give you
I
cash?
mean, like I was hanging out with him, so it'd be like, yeah, he'd give
He'd be
me
like,
like
hey,
a couple
I need
$100, yeah, like, and
Okay.
obviously he knew what it was for. Like not like I'm just like, I didn't think about it, like like I wasn't there, like, oh, okay, like this is for this and that, like that wasn't. I'm just okay, like I was just okay with it. I was just doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, you need the money, okay, I don't wanna know what for, I don't know, like obviously now I know the rental and all that stuff, but it's like, I didn't know.
You
Like,
just knew
I
that you
got,
would get him the money to
yeah,
take
like,
care of Charlie's
do
problem.
whatever you need to do, whatever, like, and then I would get it from one hand to another.
Okay.
All right.
At that point, did you know Lewis was involved?
No, that whole thing, yeah, with Lewis was all,
All Garcia.
okay, I know we're gonna be jumping into a lot of things, and I hope I'm not frustrating you,
No,
because
you're
I
fine.
feel
Go
like.
ahead.
No.
You're not frustrating us. No, I'm watching you process
No,
it in
I
your
know.
head.
And it's like I talk with my hands, I'm getting nervous, like
It's fine. It's fine.
Go ahead.
because I know, like my
I have no idea why she's in here. I mean, is she just bored and they're letting her out of her cell to speak with the cops? I mean, what is she? I guess she's hoping that they'd give her a deal, right? I mean, she's not in here. She's clearly not in here to bring truth to the Markels because she's being cagey as fuck. So I don't know.
brain is like jumping from one place to another. The whole thing with Lewis is obviously, like, and that's how Sigfredo functions too. He never tells me. You think he's gonna tell? He doesn't tell me things. This is what I want you guys to understand. Sigfredo does not tell me things. He tries to keep me away from a lot of things.
Sure.
A lot of things upset me through the trial that I found out that it's like it hurts for me to know because this is the father of my children. You know, like I'm not like. He's not a bad person. I know it sounds bad, but it's like he's not this person. And granted, I went to him, obviously, stupid mistake for even me to be involved in any of this. But when the whole I guess the bump or whatever, and like the weird phone calls and Charlie telling me this thing or whatever, little by little I kind of like, and then the whole Lewis thing, and that's what like clicked in my head. I was like, Lewis, like Tato and Tuto, like, you know, they always mistake their names. And then I'm just like again, me and Sigfredo, we never had a chance to like talk. Like he doesn't, like I've asked that, you know, I've asked plenty of times, like, Tara, why can't we be in a room with, you know, Sigfredo? Like, I need to know these things. Like, I can't answer these questions. I know it's kind of just like, I know to protect, like, you know, like both sides or whatever, but I needed to see him face to face. I needed that, like now it's like we've been so separated so far, it's like, I don't even know.
See, the problem is we don't want you talking about what Sigfredo told you after the fact. We want you telling us what you know leading up to all this and during all of this. You were with Sigfredo. You were with Charlie.
Yeah.
You were part of a lot of these conversations.
Yes.
And that's what we want to hear from you, is what those conversations were and how they went along. I mean, at one point you did know Lewis was involved because you tried calling Lewis to get a hold of Sigfredo right after the murder.
Yeah.
You had his old number.
Yeah.
You called his old number, so somehow you did know that he was with Lewis. That's why you tried to call Lewis.
But I never knew, like, I really honestly never knew that he would, like, that Lewis, I mean, obviously, like, now I think about it, like, they're always together, like, but at that time, I'm trying to reach Sigfredo. I don't know what made me, like, call him or him call me, or I'm just trying to reach him. I'm trying to get to him.
Yeah, and he's the only one you tried to call at that time until you got a hold of Ortiz, but anyways.
Before that trip, you knew that he was going with him on that trip.
No, I never knew that he was
And
going
how did
with
you
him.
know to call him?
Maybe not the first trip, but the second trip you knew he was there, right? Because you were talking to him.
Well, what about the fucking... She saw the picture of the owl posted from Tallahassee. Yeah, you knew he was on the trip.
To him during that second trip, right?
Talking
to Sigfredo.
Yeah, but he never told me that he was with Lewis. Like, he never
explained that to me.
He never told me that he was with Lewis.
Okay.
Because even with the whole thing, with the whole bump and everything, like, that started coming out, and that's why I was like, why does it seem like, to me, that Sigfredo was, you know, like something was going on with Lewis. Like, he was almost kind of like, oh, let me find out, like, what is somebody talking to Lewis, or is he like talking to, you know, like police or whatever about something, because why is his name coming up? But he never told me anything that he was with Lewis. Like, I know, like, that's one thing that I know, like, I never knew, because I didn't know that till later on.
Okay.
And I know that I called him, but it's like, I don't know what made me call him that day, or if I had seen him beforehand, or...
Okay.
So in June, they made a trip up, and nothing happened. Did you know, was there any conversation after the June trip with you and Garcia about nothing happening?
Was there a conversation after that?
Yeah.
Not that I can recall, no.
I mean, because obviously it didn't, and so I'm wondering what triggered them going back again in July.
And how do they fund that too? So obviously something had to go back and forth to Charlie to know that there's going to be a second trip. So what?
Tell us about it. Tell us what you
I
know.
don't know, I can't, okay, June, you said that they went, yeah, well, obviously they went, or just one, I don't, like, that's what, I don't.
Yeah, they both went in June,
Uh-huh.
and they both came back. And then actually, I think think Wendy came down to Miami, and that's when you all went to the beach.
That was around June.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I have never spoken to Wendy about anything. Like,
That was the next question.
yeah, like I've never spoken to Wendy about.
So you tell us, does Wendy know, did Wendy know about this? Did Wendy know what was going on here? Did she know
From that
about
time, I mean, I think they kept it like, I think Charlie's always said that my family doesn't know anything, like, or Wendy doesn't know anything. So at some point, I mean, I figured out that with Wendy.
Yeah. So Charlie would say to you, my family knows nothing?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, see, this is where it gets difficult because it's like like, with the whole, okay, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's I don't know, like, I just feel like every single time that, like, Charlie would, like, talk to his mom, like, it was always, like, if I was, like, in the house, like, he'd never talk to her, like, on the phone with me, he'd always walk away and stuff, but I almost feel like his mom always knew something was going on, or something needed to be taken care of.
Would he ever
Like
tell
his
you
mom.
though? He would never tell you?
I mean, like, he kind of, like, he was the type that he would realize, like, my family doesn't know anything about that, but in my head, I'm like, okay, then why do you walk away, and, like, whenever we're talking about something, or, like, like, you don't want me to hear it, like, you don't want me to hear something. So, obviously, his mom has to have known something.
Well, later on, throughout the whole bump, Charlie tried to get you to come down and meet with his parents. Do you remember that? We even played those calls in trial, so you've heard that call again since you've had the calls.
But not to meet his parents, it was to meet him.
To meet his parents, because you decided not to go inside. You said, meet me down the street at the restaurant. I don't want to meet your parents, I want to meet down the street at the
I don't
restaurant.
think I ever said I'm going to meet your parents.
That was on the calls. He was wanting you to. He was wanting you to come into the Icon and meet with his parents. And you were like, yeah, I want you to come down. I don't want to come in there with them, and I want you to come down to Charlie. So
Yeah, like, I don't.
you don't remember that either?
No, I remember meeting up with him, but I don't remember him, like, insinuating, like, oh, you'd have. He said that he was with his parents, but I've never, like, been
never met with his parents at all?
No, not like
Okay.
together like that. Like, we're all together now.
So you never had any conversations with his mom, Wendy?
No, never had a conversation with Wendy. Never had a conversation with his mom. Now, my opinions on that is completely different.
Like, you watched trial a few times.
Yeah, like, obviously, like I said, like, I put like, that's how my brain is working too, is that I'm putting things, and I was like, okay, what's this
But what
happening
you just
again?
said is what you know.
Yes.
And that's literally all we're here trying to do.
Yeah.
Do not guess
I
on
don't wanna
what you
say
would-
my opinion, and I don't wanna,
Yeah.
like, I don't
And we
wanna
will
get to
know
that
the difference
point.
in your opinion, but what you know and what you heard is all we're here trying to get to.
Well,
If
what
you
you
believe
see
something, that's fine.
and what you heard is important, even though what developed your opinion.
Yeah.
Did you see something outside of what you saw in trial? Did you see something before trial, before all this happened, that led you to that?
What do you
So
mean by that?
we'll
Like,
go back
did you
to,
hear Charlie saying something? Did you see him doing something? Did you experience something that now you think, oh, that's why she knows, because Charlie said this or said that or did that? Is there anything that led you to believe
Well,
that?
the whole conversation with his mom, like, like, again, it's like, it was going back and forth, like, he's having a conversation with his mom, he must have mentioned something about me, because his mom is, like, obviously talking about me.
You're talking about the Title III calls again, what you heard in trial?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
so I guess we'll backtrack. Let's go back to July of 2014. They make another trip. Was the circumstances surrounding that one similar to the other one where money had to be exchanged to rent a car?
Yeah, if Sifredo had asked me, like,
Do you remember that?
if he didn't have any money, he probably would have asked me, like, hey, I need some money.
But do you remember?
I don't.
You don't remember
I
it?
don't remember if he had asked me for money for
Do
that
you remember
trip.
Sigfredo going to Tallahassee?
No, this is the whole time.
So I'm asking a couple
we were-
specific things in this world because these are just things I'm trying to confirm. So, do you remember anything about and Rivera testified about this stuff? Do you remember anything about the Instagram and Rivera posting something stupid?
What, he was talking about, like, the tiger or whatever he had.
Yeah.
He had
Fucking tiger. We've gone from owl to lion to tiger. What's next? A panda. Sigfredo took a picture of a panda in Tallahassee and put it on Instagram. It was doing kung fu down the middle of Thomasville Road, and he posted his location. And then they took the panda to the motel and told him to strip. At gunpoint. They pulled a gun on the panda and told him to strip. And we were just talking about this in chat. Don't you love it when that happens?
It's changed, yes. It might be a zebra next week, I don't know.
I mean, like,
Fucking zebra? What is this? The fucking Lion King? We've got zebras, lions, tigers, pandas, and owls. Fucking someone needs to get in touch with Disney. We've got something here. This is going to be the fucking the hit of 2026. The new animation picture. What are we going to call it? Oh God. The fuck. So the zebras and the tigers, they're both black and white, so maybe that's our theme. Skunks, raccoons, zebras, pandas. What are those things called in Madagascar with the stripy tail? Lemurs or something, I don't know. I mean the country, not the movie.
trial and stuff, but
No,
nothing
but do
that
you
happened.
remember?
Oh, like
you
him,
personally-
that happening? No.
Yeah, you don't remember calling and saying, "Hey,
No.
you dumbass, you put something on." I don't remember what you said. It was
No, I
something-
would have. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I never knew about Lewis being with Sigfredo.
All right, so
Like
let's
I
go
just
to.
like I don't know how much I can stress about.
Being like sexually, oh, it is the movie Madagascar 2.0. Good job.
But like,
Let's go
I
to the
don't
part
know.
about after it's done, and there's.
I bet Sigfredo's seen that movie 100 times. You know, he pretends he needs to watch it with the kids, but secretly loves it.
A phone call between you and Garcia. It's the first phone call. You've seen it 1,000 times. First phone call after it's completed. You're about an hour and a half away from Tallahassee. And Rivera says he hears you and Garcia talking.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you when that conversation took place?
When I was talking to Sigfredo on the phone.
Lemurs. Okay, thank you, Neverly.
After Dan has already been shot.
Well, he's saying that like I know, or like I said I know,
Yeah.
but I never said I know, or even
I-
had a
we're getting
conversation.
there.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Just
So
where
where were you? Yeah. Do you remember where you were when that call was made?
No.
Okay. So
I
you
mean,
don't remember.
Me and Sigfredo.
You don't remember where you were when that call was made. I don't believe that. If she didn't know, she'd know where she was going to or from or something. No, my mind is blank. I blocked a lot of this out, so yeah.
Would talk, but I don't know. Like maybe I was in my house, in Treasure Drive.
Okay.
It's either that or I was. I don't remember. I don't.
Well,
recall
let's
about that.
get this. You did take money from Charlie's house
Yes.
and take it and meet Garcia and Rivera.
The day after.
That's where it gets a little blurry for me too, because I had gone to Lewis's house plenty of times and go.
okay, irrelevant.
Yeah.
You took money.
Yeah.
How much money did you get from Charlie?
I never saw it. He
What was
put
it?
it in the trunk. Okay.
Go through that whole thing. I don't care what day that was. Just tell me what that was.
Okay. The night that Charlie told me to come over to his house and that he was like frantic about everything, I was like, okay, whatever, I'll come over.
Okay.
That's when he had mentioned that about the accident, but I didn't know that Markel got shot. Like I didn't know about that. Like
You knew it was
I don't
her.
think I didn't, not even him. I don't know if it was him that he was, I think so. I guess, but like never saying about like him getting shot or whatever. That's why that phone call of me knowing would have never occurred because I wouldn't even know anything, and
Okay.
Charlie didn't say anything on the phone.
Well, obviously a phone call occurred because there's records of that, and you and Garcia talked.
Well, yeah, like of me
But
saying
you don't
that.
remember the specifics that Rivera's telling
Yes,
us.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
fine, that's fine. We
Okay.
can work with that.
Before you went to Charlie's, you went and met with Sigfredo. When they got back to town that night, you went and met with Sigfredo. Then you went to Charlie's. You remember that?
I don't think I met with Sigfredo though, like, I had
Talking
records
to
that I
him,
was
did
talking to him.
Talked to him, and then you showed up right there when they were close to her house, and the records show y'all, they went to was it Duffy's? Is that the sports bar they went to?
That was close by or whatever.
Yeah, right, close by.
I don't recall meeting up with Sigfredo. I do recall going to Charlie's house.
Because right after that, that's when you talked to Charlie and you drove up there to Charlie's house. It was right after you.
Because I know I left and we were, like, Charlie was telling me to come over to his house.
Do you
At that
remember
time, he was
meeting with
kinda-
Sigfredo after we got back and telling you that it's taken care of or any of that? Like, do you remember meeting with him when he got back in town?
When he got back in town.
And I understand you don't know that they, at this time, that he killed him or shot him, but do you remember him meeting saying that this is handled? We handled this for your friend or anything?
After that, I don't know if he might have come over. I don't know.
I'm just saying,
I'm
what
not
made
gonna
you
say
facilitate
that
a phone call with Charlie to get the money?
Well, obviously Charlie knew something happened. Therefore, when that happened, he was supposed to have like money like ready because
Okay,
he knew that he had to pay.
so that was the understanding, once it was done, that he was to pay right away?
Yes, yeah, but I wasn't, like, I didn't know I'm going up there to go meet up with Charlie so that I could, to get that. Like, he doesn't want to say anything, obviously, on the phone.
Right.
So when I got up there, I just remember that he was like frantic and he was just like, I even remember he had like a gun with him and I was just like, what? Like, but he was like just acting weird at that, when I got to his house. And I know he had taken like a Xanax and then I might have too because we just fell asleep. Like, I can't even recall like what conversation was happening or whatever. I just know that he, in the morning before I left, he's like, hey, it's in your trunk. And I was like, okay, in my understanding that's like the money in my trunk. Never looked at it, never opened anything, never had it like in my hand.
Okay.
So
when you met up with him, where'd you meet up with him at?
with who? With Charlie?
No, with Garcia and Rivera.
So you left Charlie's house that next morning
With the
afterwards?
money, and then what
Yes.
happened? Tell us
Okay,
what happened
when
next.
I drove back down, I think that's when I'm trying to look for Sigfredo, and he was like nowhere to be found, and that's when I had like called, I don't know if he called me or I called him or whatever, because that's why with the phone number was like confusing me, because other people had their phones, like, remember you told me, I mean, like you said that it wasn't even, it was.
So you mean you called a number you
number.
had for Rivera that somebody else answered?
No, you're talking about Ortiz, aren't you?
Yeah, like I don't know if Sigfredo was he living in that apartment in Biscayne or whatever, like other people were
I
like
can tell you
hanging
where
out.
it was. You know where it was.
Well, I know he was at Shrimp's house,
Yeah, I don't know
But-
where. I think he was couch hopping around that time frame.
Yeah.
but I think he had his apartment too, somewhere along like 70 something in Biscayne.
He could have. To be honest with you.
But either way,
And
you
that's
got
where
me.
like, all of them hung out or whatever, but like they would exchange phones and stuff, like other people, like, is the Ortiz number Hebreo's phone?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember Hebrew was always like at his house, so I'm trying to contact them. That's why I'm never trying to contact Lewis.
So you're
Well,
coming
that was
calling.
later. That was after you tried to call Lewis. You tried to call Lewis first on his old number, and then you called Ebro after that.
Okay,
But
So all this was
that's
just to
the record
find
show, which
Sigfredo.
I've had.
yes,
So all these calls you're making is you now have the money, you left Charlie's house, Charlie gave you the money, it's your understanding, obviously you didn't see it and touch it, I get that.
yeah,
But you knew that he put money in the back to pay this.
yes, yes.
So all these calls you're making is to try and find Sigfredo to give him this money, is that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Where'd you find him?
I think I was parked behind, I don't know if I don't know how I came about, but like I just ended up like in the, kind of like, in the hallway of like, like the alleyway of Lewis's, apartment.
Mhm.
and he just like jumped inside the car out of nowhere. Like he
Lewis did?
No,
Oh, Sigfredo
did.
Oh, okay.
Because, you know, I guess he didn't want me to know that he was somewhere else, and clearly he was at Shrimp's house, and, you know, I couldn't find him or anything.
What made you go
So-
to the alleyway outside of Lewis's
I think
apartment?
he told me to go over there, or,
So you got a hold of him on the phone and he told you to go meet him over there?
yeah, I just thought that I had to go over there.
Okay.
Alright, what happened then?
So he goes, he gets in the car, I was like, hey, you know, you got a package in the back, grabs it, and goes. And then I left to go home because, yeah, I left to go home.
Did you ever see it at all?
No, I never saw the
Like
package.
the package, you never, like, he just jumped out of,
No.
grabbed it out of the trunk?
Yeah.
And he didn't give you a third
He-
of that money?
He didn't give me money, but like then he gave me money.
How much did he give you?
I didn't, like, I know. it
Came
was-
back
Let me
where?
ask you a random question. Was it stapled?
Yeah.
Kim
So it came, you don't know how much he gave you, is that what you said?
Huh?
You don't know how much he
Who is the cop with the beard that we can just see? I don't know his name.
gave you?
No, he didn't. I
What
mean,
it
I
look
didn't count, like, I know it was, you know, it was a couple stacks, but it's like I didn't, like, not a specific number. And I'm not gonna say like 30 because that's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's a number that's like sticking out and,
Yeah, that's what Rivera said.
What's the
Yeah.
stacks of what? Stacks of what exactly?
stacks of like staple money.
But what were the bills? Do you remember the size of the bill?
How much? And what kind of bills were they? $1 bills?
I think they were like hundreds and then maybe like hundreds and like 20, like, you know, 20s, like, and
And they were stapled.
yes.
Okay. Where were you at when he brought you that money?
I was in my apartment.
So he came back to your apartment?
Yes.
So the next part of it gets a little.
Well, can I just, I mean, like, I don't wanna like, because I just wanna get it out of my head so that you got, you know, obviously, I just know it was kinda like, and there's another thing that stick out, like that Charlie was saying about like, oh, like cleaning the money or like actually, I guess cleaning the money because it was like, after, like I got the money and then I put it away in my closet. Like I said, like that's why I don't know the amount. I never counted it. I'm not there sitting and counting it. But it did like get moldy. Like it was like wet, like it was like moisture. So I think it was literally like washed. Cause it was like, I was like, hey, like this thing like looks like, and I'm thinking in my head, well, yeah. But like he said stuff.
That's all right, Brad. Like I said, I've never got through this whole thing before either. I always give up. Yeah, come back tomorrow when we do something else.
Like that, and I just, you know, I didn't think about like actually, I didn't feel for it that it was wet or anything, but you know, it started getting like moldy and stuff, and I was like, oh, the money that you gave me is like moldy. Like I think it was just wet. It was just like just dry it, just blow dry it, and I was like, okay. And then that was like the end of it.
So Charlie's the one that was talking about cleaning the money.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I said, Charlie makes these like comments and things that like I would be oblivious to and not really pay attention to until like after like I'm, you know, things that he's saying. Like I said, he's like, he made sure that I knew that he didn't print that whatever it was in the envelope, you know, like he's like, oh, I wear gloves when I put it in. Like he's telling me things so that I guess like, you know, he wouldn't be blackmailed or whatever.
So there's no way for it to come back to him. Is what
Yeah,
he's trying to tell you.
he was gonna
I
deny
mean, he was
knew
using me
it
through the
all.
whole thing, you know, obviously, like feeding me other stuff and I believed it,
Right.
like an
So-
idiot.
So when Sigfredo paid you the money and he came back to your apartment and he gave it to you, did he tell you anything about what happened and or how it happened?
You know, he never told me any details.
Okay. At what point did you find out that Markel was dead?
That I don't remember. I know from like the whole bump, like at that point,
Before that?
something, I don't know if like somebody passed away. I mean, like if he passed away or anything or like that even, that's where it gets blurry for me because I don't know when I found out that would have, you know.
You obviously knew before the bump because that happened a couple years later.
2 years later.
2 years later. So
Yes.
okay.
Yeah,
At what
I
point?
just don't know.
Because you're working for Charlie. You're working for Charlie. He's paying. You're supposedly cleaning the office, is what you said,
Mhm.
right? and he's paying you money. At what point, while that's happening, do you know that he's dead at that point? Because the funeral's already happened, things are already on the news, all that stuff's happening already.
I believe so. I think, yeah, like I.
Do you know who told you, or how you found out?
I don't know if it was Charlie that told me.
Okay.
I gotta go back. When Garcia gave you the money, did he tell you why, or did you know why?
I just knew that he had to take care. He did something that he's getting paid for. Like that's it. Yeah. Okay. He didn't tell me like what happened or how he got it.
So you knew that.
I mean, he got it from me, but you know.
Yeah. You knew that was your portion of what Charlie put in that.
I mean, Sigfredo just tends to give me, you know, like he even, like if he knows that I was like a stickler about like, you know, like, hey, you have to help me out with the kids or whatever. Like that's why I even put him on child support, because obviously he blew through whatever money he had. I don't know how much money he had. Mm-hmm. I know he got, you know, like he just gave me a portion of it, and I don't know if that has something to do with his.
Golfer Girl says Katie is incapable of telling the truth or even speaking like a normal person. Exactly, right? What is that? It's like a fucking Tourette's or something. Yeah, I'm still trying to work out her goal. I mean, she's still trying to distance herself from culpability. You know, didn't know it was a murder, didn't know a murder was happening, didn't know Lewis was going, didn't know there was a picture of either a tiger, an owl, a bear, a lion, a panda, or a skunk. We don't know. Could have been all of them. You know, one big fucking happy animal family. They broke into song in the middle of Monroe. They broke into a huge animal-related song, and Lewis took a picture. I mean, it would almost be worth doing the 19 years to get a picture of that, or a video, or see the live performance. A bear, a skunk, a tiger, a lion, an owl, and a panda. Yeah. No, I still don't know what Katie's doing here.
Portion too, but I usually have.
Was there an understanding that you were going to get a portion of it once they take care of this for helping?
Yeah, I mean, he was just going to pay, like, not like this is your specific portion, but he's like.
It was understanding you get some money.
Yeah.
Right. You didn't know amount.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there was an understanding that you were going to get some money once this was completed from what Charlie was paying.
Well, for him to do this, like it was just, it's so that I can have money. Yeah,
right.
Like, you know.
That's what I wanted to clear up.
Okay.
I just wanted to clear all that up because I know it's all processing in your head. You're going back and forth, so I want to make sure we have it clear as to what your understanding of it was at that moment, because that's all we're caring about is your
my
perspective, your involvement, and what you saw and experienced during this encounter.
What knowledge you have. It's not so much your involvement, because no matter what you did, it's over with for you now. You don't have anything else to get in trouble for. I want you to understand that. I know you don't want the perception, and it's hard to admit that, yes, I did this and it was wrong. It's hard to admit it, and I know that's a problem for you, and you don't want that out there, and this is probably a conversation where if your attorney was here, we would step out and he'd have another conversation with you about this, because it's really important that you tell us everything that you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, at this time now, because...
That was on South Beach. You know what we haven't heard for a while, guys? If you want to support the channel, you can at truecrimemetrics.buymeacoffee.com. At buymeacoffee.com/truecrimemetrics. And every time you do send us a coffee, you get one of these. Bush!
Fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck you fucking with me.
Which is obviously the best thing she's ever said in her life. Not just in the case, but ever. You know, I hope one day her children find this channel and can't get enough of pressing
fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck you fucking with me.
Nothing worse is gonna happen.
Yeah, don't forget to leave a like on the video, guys. Support the channel. Super chat, super thanks, super like, super sticker. And buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com. Don't touch that merch store, though, because we're done with Teespring. It's over. We're burning the relationship. We're burning the bridge. We're burning the bridge and draining the river. No, I don't know. Well, we're just not going to use them anymore. We're going with Bonfire. New merch coming, so stay tuned for that fantastic new Metrix merch stuff. Everyone knows that we have the best merch of any true crime channel. I go around the other creators, I check out their merch stuff. I'm like, why aren't you doing it better than this? I mean, it's obviously just not a focus for them, But thankfully, what else is in the description? Social networks. Join the social networks. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. Man, Discord has really been heating up recently, huh? Yeah, that's good. It's good. I'm going to be glad when that trial that's going on is over and we can just never speak of it again.
For anything that you know or that you say, nothing worse is going to happen to you. Let me ask you this, where are your kids right now?
So with my family.
You're staying with your brother still?
Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody ever threatened you or promised you anything not to testify or not to cooperate in this?
No.
Nobody's ever
ever
no
threatened
coercion
me.
whatsoever
Nothing.
of why you didn't want to cooperate early on or
I
anything
mean,
else?
and that's a whole nother ballgame of why I never even went for it. Even from the first day that I had gotten arrested, with everything being retracted, we were all still confused. We were even when Sigfredo got arrested, and I'm I blocked everything off. Everybody's blowing up my phone trying to tell me what happened or whatever, and that he was involved in all of this. It's I just didn't want to hear anything about it. I didn't go off. You think I was there Googling? I did not want to know. I know I had to take care of my kids. And that's it. And I just
read the probable cause with the attorney early on, so you knew what the facts were of what he was arrested for.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah. I knew the facts from his probable cause.
Right.
I went to go hire his attorney. So it's his attorney started advising me, telling me hey, you might, need to get your own attorney because you have, they're saying your name and all this stuff or whatever just to protect myself. And that's when I had hired Tara. Well, I had somebody else and then I hired Tara after.
Okay. Well, here's what, you ever heard the term minimization? Minimizing someone's role in something? A lot of people have a hard time admitting to what they did and what their role is in something, and it's called minimizing. They minimize their role in it, and I don't want you to do that here, okay? Because it's only going to hurt you.
I know.
We have a strong case on Charlie. It's stronger than what we had on you.
Yeah.
This is not something that we have to have you or anything. We're hoping you're going to tell us the truth, and we're hoping you're going to come forward and tell us everything.
Yeah.
Okay? I don't want.
Translation, this isn't something where we're going to give you anything, okay? We don't need you. You're not important. And whatever you tell us is just extra, okay? He's already banged up for life, pretty much.
I want you to minimize this because it's only going to hurt yourself, okay? Yeah. So, I get.
But that's why it's and I get it, and I get.
It's tough to be more hurt than a fucking life sentence plus 30 years. I mean, what else are you going to do? You going to give me more time?
Because everything you're telling us is how you didn't know this, you weren't aware of this and that.
Because nothing was ever for certain, and that's why I say it in that way. This whole thing, the whole time, I was, and I'm not gonna put blame on anybody else or whatever because I take accountable of all of this, and that's why I've been fighting. I'm fighting the whole time too, is because it's what am I supposed to do? If I was to had cooperated from the beginning, that destroys everything, even Sigfredo, even and I get it, and I get you guys. Everybody's already had this whole perception. I just want a chance to get home to my children. This is why I'm in the situation right now.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to tell you right now is being totally honest is what can help you.
But
if you're holding back and trying to minimize your role in this, it's only going to hurt you. Okay?
You see, she's not in a good place, right? I mean, Pat Sanford's like, yeah, being totally honest is the only thing that can help you. But, he can't promise anything. That comes before your conviction, when your attorney can negotiate a plea deal, which you didn't take twice. Oh, Katie. Now Pat Sanford's in here making no deal and just saying, well, if you tell us everything, that can help you. We're going to give you an extra pillow for your life plus 30 years. He can't promise anything, because if he promises her something, it undermines the validity of whatever she's going to say. But if she says everything up front, no deal's been confirmed. She's not in a good place. You're not holding all the cards.
And I understand that, but I'm not gonna be. But it's to the point too that I'm like, I wasn't for certain with a lot of things, and that's why I'm not gonna go.
I understand you're not certain what.
Yeah, let's start with the things that you know, and then we'll move on to the things that you think, and we'll then talk about the things that you've interpreted.
Was going to happen. You're not certain how they were going to handle it or what the actual planning of any of it was, but it was a understanding. There was some kind of communication, some kind of conversations that happened, where it was an understanding to you that Charlie was going to give you money and you were going to have Sigfredo take care of Charlie's problem. That was a certain understanding,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
I understand that you don't remember the exact words of how it was said, but that was an absolute, right?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
knew that he was going to pay you money
Yes, ma'am.
to give to Sigfredo to take care of the problem. You knew that you were going to get a portion of that money for taking care of this problem for Charlie. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what we're getting. We understand you won't remember exact words and exact conversations, but the actual context, that's what the context means.
Yeah.
Is the actual conversation, the understanding of what is going to occur and how you're going to be compensated for taking care of that issue.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's what we need to get to, is those conversations and how the planning of it and how it came about, and then how once it was.
Hey, thanks so much, Chauncey Myers, for the fabulous super chat. Chauncey says, "This is so hard to listen to." I know, right? She has nothing to lose, just tell the truth. She's an idiot. That's exactly what I've been saying for years.
Taking care of how then.
I mean, it was
Everything that happened
basically
afterwards.
like an understanding without verbalizing it. That's the part. It's like, okay, like that's gonna happen, and then again, I just relay, but I can't tell you like specifically. I think it's the sign for me to really not know, and that's the part. Don't you think if I would have known specifics and everything up from the day one, I would have been like, hey, you think I want to spend?
But you knew you
One
was
of
going
our
to money.
assumptions
I
we've
know,
always
but I'm
had
saying like,
is accurate though.
Yeah.
The walls.
Yeah, they kept the walls.
It was totally walled off, and you were walling off people yourself too.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But I don't want you to hurt yourself by trying to minimize yourself. We're having to drag things out.
believe me, I just want to get, like I said,
want you
like
to just
I'm
tell
not,
us
the
everything
one
that
thing that I
happened.
don't want is to waste time. I know this is my opportunity and I get it.
Listen,
Okay. Just
Whatever it takes to get it out, I understand it's stressful.
I mean, it'd be easier to be like, yeah, I'm for certain, like
one
this
thing
is
that I would
this happened.
suggest after this one is if you go back to your bunk and you trust people enough to not steal your shit, if you think of stuff, write it down.
And that's where I've always been afraid of too, because even in
Somebody
county,
will jam.
like, yeah, people were trying to go state on people like
Because you
in a
have
daily
a case that
basis.
people want to jump on.
Of course, and it's,
I don't know.
but it's been years. It's been years. I'm
Right.
trying.
We do have to
okay?
take that in consideration that we are now over 8 years since this all happened.
Yeah.
9 years since the
I'm
conversation
not the
started.
same person that I am now from
Not
when I
even
was
close.
there. This is by far the most detrimental thing that has ever happened. It's destroyed. Markel is destroyed his family.
All
His
families.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
like my children don't have parents. It's like
yes.
I've lost.
Hang on, we've got a Hooter-orientated comment from Acapella. Neville darling, are you talking about her Hooters? We've got to scroll back now. What did Neville darling say? I wish we could have a look at them. We've seen Jodi Arias's tits. Which weren't all that. She also had what do you call it? Breast augmentation surgery. Yeah, I'd have wanted a refund. What comment was this? Like her development is stunted. Sorry to break this to you, Katie. You had 2 golden tickets. Yeah, I think Neville was referring to the plea deal a cappella, but thank you for taking us into the gutter.
Therapy, I haven't even dealt with that. I haven't dealt with that grief. Like, there's a lot of things that I've just suppressed so much, and I get it. And like, believe me, that's why I wish you guys could just put something in my head, extract all this stuff. But I get it, and it would be a lot
You're
smoother.
answering our questions. You're answering our questions, and I think I'll try to articulate what you were saying. Is it basically, it's not a code talk, but there was a mutual understanding of the language in which you all were speaking, that when a conversation was had, you knew what was supposed to follow that conversation.
But I played on into a lot of the things too. It's
Right.
like,
And let's take it to the phone calls that were afterwards. You guys started talking about real estate and how much a piece of property would cost. You knew what Charlie was talking about.
yeah, like I knew.
You knew what the
I knew
code
what
was. If he was talking
about.
about the homicide and this is what the money was. Kind of similar to the whole 2 years of process that took place with this case. One of the discrepancies I think we've always had is when you started working for Charlie's business. I know you've always said it was
I've
for
lied a
helping
lot.
you with
It was me
things.
lying literally to him. It wasn't even like lying
That's
to
fine.
you guys.
Was that part, was he doing that as more of a payment to you for this case? Or was that separate from paying you back for this case?
I mean, for now that I think about it, for both, I guess. Like,
Okay.
I needed it. I needed that insurance. Like, I needed that situation for.
I know you need it for insurance.
Yeah.
That's a given. I mean, we understand, and there's documentation of that. But him giving in to you and allowing you to do that, saying, "Yeah, I'll pay you to do nothing in my office." I mean, we agree now you didn't work for Charlie, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I lied to him a lot about that too. Like,
That's I think he probably lied to you as well.
I know he lied to me. He lied to a lot about a lot of things.
The Lexus. Is there any more to that story, or was that you were
No,
struggling?
I literally bought that Lexus from him.
Okay.
That's why I like that. There's certain things.
Certain
that
things
it's
you get
like,
frustrated
it's like,
about,
Yeah,
like, you're
because
wrong.
it's like you guys were making it out to be something
Where'd you
else.
get the money
It's
from
like-
then? You didn't come out of your bank account.
I
Pay for it.
was working in the what was I working in? Yeah, I was working as a bartender at the time. I always kept money on me. Like I always just kept money on me, and like I would deposit on
But
that.
he
But I
gave it to
had,
you, what, for cheap,
How much?
right?
How much you pay for it?
I think I ended up paying like 17 something, but like I put a different amount on the title.
And how did you pay it?
Like I know it sounds weird because he's like he gave this money, but
He's paying for the-
but it's
paying
like
the
I'm
bills, paying
paying, like I have paid him back to, like.
How did you pay him that money for the car?
I had the cash.
So you had $17,000 cash,
100.
1,700.
$1,700.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 70. Yeah, I carry $17,000 on me at all times. God, that'll be a fucking rip-off for a 2001 black Lexus with 100,000 miles on the clock. 17 grand. Oh. Hey, Sherry Bennett. What's the matter? You never bought a fucking car before?
So you paid $1,700.
And it sounds like, I'll be like, oh, don't pay for this, and like even, you guys were talking about like the maintenance for the car and all that stuff or whatever, which started breaking and stuff, and that's why he was just like taking care of it.
What about any trips? Did he pay for any of y'all's trips? Any vacations?
I went for me and the kids, because I was gonna go on a trip with the kids with somebody else, like with one of my girlfriends. We were gonna go to Dominican Republic, but then that trip didn't happen because
Hey, shout out to Amy. Shout out to Chief Operating Officer Amy, Dominican Republic.
my passport, I think it was expired the day, like I didn't even know, because I remember like even my mom coming over or whatever, and I was like, oh my god, my passport. So like my friend didn't end up going, and then I got back with Sigfredo, and at that time I was gonna go visit his mom and her boyfriend lived in Dominican Republic. They moved there, so I was gonna go there myself. Had nothing to do with Sigfredo, had nothing to do with Charlie, like me telling him, oh, he has to go get, buy this trip for me or whatever. Like he wasn't, I think he was, you say like satisfied, yeah, I can see it now, like, like, okay, let me keep her happy type, so that I don't ever go against him but we did still have that friendship too, like, even after, So,
and your understanding at the moment of that, after all this, he's letting you work at his business to help you out as a friend. He's doing these things. That was your thought at the time of it, but obviously you have a different view of it now. Is that correct?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't maliciously did it.
You don't think it was some form of payment for
No,
how you helped him out?
He already made that payment.
But
Like,
you didn't think he
to
continued?
further, like I see that now, like that's what I said, like I see it now, but it wasn't like at that time, like, oh, okay, let me pay you extra and extra and extra and extra after that.
Like
Which
in the
part?
middle of
That's
the
what
night
was
when you
happening.
took out your wisdom teeth, did you pay him for that? When he came in the office, took out your wisdom teeth in the middle of the
I don't
night?
think I paid him for that. For my
So
wisdom
that was
teeth.
free.
But I paid his office when I got my teeth whitened and stuff.
Okay.
Like I did,
There's a lot
it
of
sounds
little
like I shouldn't have had to pay for
descriptions
that.
and stuff that he called in for you and things like that. I mean, there's a lot of favors. I mean, it's a.
But that's just, that's
think
not
that's
just
just
like
him being a
towards
friend?
me, but like he's like that, like he does favors for people,
Okay.
like, it wasn't like, hindsight, yeah, I see that now, okay, it's keeping me happy, like you guys have always said, keep me happy.
Well, we only got 45 minutes, so let's talk about the things we don't know. Let's try to talk about things that you know that we don't know, that like conversations you had with Charlie after the bump, things like that. Conversations you had over the phone that weren't recorded or through WhatsApp. Did he at some point come to you and tell you to switch over to WhatsApp?
We've
During the
used
bump?
WhatsApp every now and then, so it was never like to just, okay, talk to me
So
through
y'all been doing
WhatsApp.
it for a while?
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of those conversations you had with him about this, even after the bump? Some things that we don't know about?
Because that's what I'm saying, it's like, it's not like, all that stuff has been recorded, but I never thought, we're not really thinking that it's like we're being recorded at that time. I guess he was thinking that he was being recorded.
Okay, so he was. But that conversation at Dolce Vita,
Yes.
what do you remember about that conversation?
Well, that's when, okay, so the bump happened, right? And then he had spoken to his mom.
Yes.
Obviously, his mom was freaking out about something, and that's why he needed to talk to me.
Yeah.
So when he spoke to me about it, he's feeling me out, and I'm like trying to find out what's going on and stuff, but not really like I wasn't taking it seriously. Like I wasn't like
Okay.
heightened by it. Like, okay, like it's a serious situation, but I was like at the same time, I'm
I
like,
think you
not.
had that thought for a little while.
It was, but
That
so
he
when y'all
was-
first
he-
met,
that it was almost like.
right? He wasn't
Is she
sure.
trying to snitch on?
You didn't know if
Yeah.
you were setting him up and kind of the same.
Okay.
When y'all first met in the car first. Do you remember that now?
Yeah.
Y'all first met in the car. What did he say in the car to you when he first sat down? He said, "All right, I just met with my mom." Blah. What did he say?
I don't, like he didn't say, nothing that's.
He told you about the bump, right? He told you what happened there. It was the very first time he told you about the bump. Because
Okay.
over the phone you couldn't talk about it.
Okay.
He didn't know. He met with his mom in person. He drove to your office. You came out Optimar and you got in his car. What was that? What did he tell you?
I
That's
don't
a
remember.
big
I
thing
know.
that he talked about.
Because I didn't even remember that time that we spoke in the car until
Until we brought it up again.
after, like, I didn't even remember, like, okay, like from my understanding, I just probably jumped in his car, like, really quick, and then like, okay, where do you want to eat, or where do you want to talk, and then.
Well, he showed you the
Go
note,
to-
right? He
No,
showed
he
you
did
the note.
not show me, I swear, he did not ever show me any note, anything, because even in that video, like, you see him, he's
Pulls it
going
out
like
and
this,
he's reading it
but
to
he
you.
never, yeah, like, he read it, but he never showed it to me.
Well,
He
he
made
probably read it
sure.
to you. Did he read it to you? Did he pull it out in the car? He had
He
to-
got some information, like he's like talking about it, but he's never Because why wouldn't he just show it to me? Like, it's like he
Well,
kept
he didn't trust
me.
you. He didn't trust you. He didn't know if you were trying to get more money out of him. He didn't know if it was you extorting him. I get that, but I'm just trying to get you. What did he tell you in that car? We weren't part of that conversation. We recorded that.
Nothing that stuck out to me that,
Nothing.
you know.
Do you remember? Okay.
I literally felt like we just went, I went in his car, like, he's like, oh, probably like parked over here, like, where are we gonna eat?
Okay.
But no conversation about anything. And that's why it was like kind of funny too, that, not funny, but you know, like, about like maybe he was like frisking to see if I was like wired or something. I'm like, none of that happened. Like, literally, we didn't even, like, how long were we in the car? I don't even remember being in the car that long. Nothing stuck out in that conversation.
Okay. Well, another conversation, we talked about a while ago when you drove down there to meet with him, and he was with his parents at the Icon, and you met him at the restaurant. What was that conversation about?
Okay, when I had met, because I was getting upset too, because I needed to get something signed from him for like insurance purposes or whatever. And then I had it with me, and I was already in a fight with Sigfredo. That's why I was like in Yendra's house. But I was telling him like, meet me somewhere closer. I didn't want to go drive all the way down to South Beach or whatever, or, you know, but was talking to his parents.
That's the phone conversation. I get that. We have that.
Yeah.
We know what you said on the phone. What happened when you got there?
When I got there, he was already like, I was trying to look for him, and he already finished his conversation with his parents. So whatever his conversation with his parents is probably something that he relied to me, but I can't remember what we spoke about. Probably the bump, probably. That's the only thing that.
Because that's what happened. You weren't talking on the phone anymore. Y'all were meeting in person at this point. So he would meet in person and talk to you about all this.
The bump already happened, right? So this is when he had spoken to me. So he's probably like just telling me.
Not that probably. Tell us what he told you about the bump. Not he's probably telling me, or you're assuming. Tell us what he told you about the bump.
That his mom got approached, and that's when the whole Lewis thing started sticking out in my head.
So tell us the best you can recall about that conversation, how he told you it. So he told you his mom got approached. What else? Not the Lewis conversation. What was the Lewis conversation?
Okay, that his mom got approached, and that his mom said, somebody said my name to his mom. So I don't even know. Because I'm a little bit, like, I'm kind of confused now.
You're confused with what you remember and what you're trying
to... Yeah, like what happened, like what occurred or whatever. Because it's like the whole Dolce Vita, like I was even confused when we were talking.
What were you confused about?
When he was like asking me questions, he's trying to ask me about like if this is somebody like I guess trying to set him up or trying to extort money from him. Okay, that's what like extorting money from him. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking in my head, because then Sigfredo thinks that Lewis has something to do with like getting money out of his family, and that's why I think Sigfredo started to get a little like suspicious about it. And that's when I put two and two, and I was like, okay, so then Lewis has something to do with this too, because why is he acting like this, but Sigfredo's not telling me like what's going on. Kind of like, I'm just gonna take care of it. I'm gonna take care of it, Katie, stop talking, like. And I'm trying, and at that point, I'm, because I'm living with him and everything, I'm like nagging him. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what happened? And he's not telling me anything. And that's the part that I wanted to speak to Sigfredo about, because I wanted to know. At this point, it's like, I want to know what happened, because like, why, like, just clear out this whole thing.
And
because
that was a little bit later, because you actually had that conversation with him over the phone after y'all were messing up the phone number. After Charlie left you, you never called Sigfredo. You went home that night and talked to him, right?
Okay, wait, after Charlie...
So after Charlie came to your office and told you my mom got bumped into, this person came, gave my mom this paper, and this is all the different people it could be. It could be somebody extorting us, it could be all these other things.
Yeah,
you didn't call Sigfredo and talk to him about
that.
No. Why didn't you talk to him?
We didn't even talk.
You didn't know.
On the phone. Sigfredo at that point didn't want to talk on the phone at all. Like, he was already like suspicious about everything. He thinks that Lewis is like setting him up, or something is happening, or like that has to do with the police. Like,
okay.
So at that point,
Lewis is ratting on him.
It's either that or it has to do it's something with Lewis. He didn't tell me. That's why even when we got home, we didn't even like talk about it. Like, it was like, don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it.
At this point, did you still not know Lewis was involved?
Well, at this point, I had an assumption, yeah, that he has something to do with it. Of course. I mean, even, that's why it's like I'm looking back and it's like, what, you know, like, they're always together, but at the same time, it's like, why would Sigfredo even need him to do anything when I went to you specifically? Like, why are you, you know, like, why are you involving?
You never got a chance to ask him that?
No, and that's what I wanted to ask him, all of that stuff, and for him to tell me, because I know he'd open up and he'd tell me. Like, I know you guys think that we probably were, like, here trying to, like, have this elaborate plan or whatever, but I just really wanted to talk to him. And, like, for him to finally say things, because there's a lot of questions where I feel like I got stuck.
It's not so much that we didn't want you to have an elaborate plan. It's, like Pat said a little while ago, that you giving us information Garcia has, we can't use anything like that. We have to get it directly from Garcia.
And there's a lot of things that's only
That's
Sigfredo knows.
one day
and
we
he
would
never
hope
told
he
me.
would talk to us as well, but...
May I ask if that's even a possibility?
Very much so.
Because it's like, at the end of the day, it's like I just...
A possibility. Anything is a possibility.
Of course, like, I felt like, why didn't he just step up and say something?
I think he had a similar thought that you thought. You remember
But that's
about
why I
20 minutes
kept
ago when
fighting.
you
I don't
said
know
that
why.
if I had come forward, it would have screwed everything up for him. I think he has a very similar thought that he would do the same for you.
He's
that he
protecting
screwed
you,
everything for
maybe.
you.
Only thing we can think. But
So, and that's, when in reality, the both of you are only protecting one person right now. And that was, well, at this point, that's changed. But Charlie was the only one.
Oh, he was the last person that we were protecting. Believe me, if it's just... Okay, like, that's why I didn't understand why it took so long to, like, arrest him either. I was like, with all of this information and all, like, it would...
if you would have talked to us, we'd have been arrested immediately. I tried to come to you
But
multiple
like,
times.
it never came off that way where it's like, oh, like,
We knocked on your door, knocked on
Okay,
your
but
door.
when
Why are
you
you so
knock-
scared of the FBI? Why are you so scared of the
you
police?
never, nobody ever said who they were. Like, I looked out the window and you guys did
You
not
saw
say
them
who
with
you
badges
were.
on. You said on the phone those are police. The police are at
I
the
never
door.
said it. It was his friend that...
Baffling. Baffling. Wobble. And she hasn't said wobble in this entire proffer. Why not? Why is that?
came around the block and he told me that the FBI was in there. You guys, I swear, you guys never
And you
announced
knew
it.
the
I was
FBI
the
was
only
talking
one.
to Sigfredo at the
Didn't
time,
you
too.
guys have a conversation on the phone? I mean, didn't you guys hear my conversation on the phone with Sigfredo?
Is that Mike?
If I would have, yes.
Somebody might, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Mike
then
already
he
told you
had
the
told
FBI was
me-
talking to him.
The FBI was talking to him. And then
Yeah.
even on the phone, he's like talking about like, oh, these people are talking to me about like Tallahassee or whatever.
And then we went to
And
your lawyer, we went to Sigfredo's lawyer and tried to talk to him. And we wanted you to talk to us, you never would talk to us.
I was more than willing to talk, but just the way that every single time that it happened, it wasn't the way that it was. Like you guys said that they announced, you guys never announced to me. I did not know until Mike told me that I had asked him and you guys were already over there. You guys came at the same time. So I'm
Right.
trying to blow up his phone, trying to see like who is it that's like knocking, and you guys never announced it. My dog is like
Every
barking
time
in the
you
back.
somebody knocks on your door, you call somebody to find out who it is? You call somebody
No, it's
else?
just the
She had a dog too. Does anyone know what kind of dog Katie Magbanua had?
way that you
Well,
guys
ask who
like.
it is. They just knocked on the door, so we was trying to talk to you. Anyway, that's irrelevant
Yeah.
at this point, but bottom line, alright, we don't have but a little bit more time. Is there anything that you can think of that conversation-wise that you had with Charlie or anybody else regarding this that we don't know about, that you can help yourself out with by telling us about? Because right now you haven't told us a whole lot of what we haven't known already.
But that was always my problem, because if I had all the answers, it would have been so much easier to just go by and.
I'm not even asking for all the answers. I'm
Yeah.
asking for any answer, any
Well,
information.
If you were sitting in our shoes and you'd watched all the trials and you saw what we got right and what we got wrong, is there something we are missing that you think we need to know?
I don't even know where to go from there. Like something that.
Did we get something wrong?
I would gear towards Charlie's issues, not your own. I mean, I know where you differentiate.
Because there was a
from us.
lot of confusion. Like I alone was confused of like how everything came about. It's like, okay, yeah, everybody was lying to each other. So there's all that confusion already. At that time, I can't think of why I acted the way I did, how I, even prior to even giving in and doing this for Charlie. I can't explain to you other than financial issues that's what I'm saying, like he manipulated me, and this is like through time of him telling me things little by little, and then we just gave him like, yeah, whatever, like I had somebody, and obviously I threw it off on Sigfredo. But when I'm talking to Sigfredo about it, it's never any details, so it's like, I was kind of always just like, okay, like I just ping-ponged it from one person to another, so it's not like, for certain, like I'm there, like, I'm coming up with like a master plan of like what's gonna happen and this is how it's gonna happen. It's just Charlie feeding me things that I can't even, for the life of me, remember specific, like what it is that he exactly said or, wanted me to do.
What's something that we missed, something we don't know about how this all came together? After the bump, after your meetings with Charlie, obviously we have the things that are on the phone calls that you've heard. Everybody's heard
A, bro. I'm gonna
hundreds of times in this
fuck up whoever the fuck is fucking with me.
Thank you, On the Mountain, for that fabulous coffee, On the Mountain coffee. Thank you, Mountain.
Heard them hundreds of times. Obviously, we know that. Outside of that, you guys had outside conversations. Obviously, you're sweating it. You got police, FBI knocking on your doors.
Mm-hmm.
You have people getting arrested now. Your child's father is now arrested and charged with this. I know conversations happened. You guys said, okay, let's not talk on phones anymore. So conversations happened. You guys met in person, had conversations. What were those conversations like?
With Sigfredo?
With
Or
both.
with both?
Sigfredo and with Charlie.
But really, everything was kind of like on the phone too, like not just separate, because obviously we were still talking on the phone. I wasn't under the impression. Charlie's always been the one who's been paranoid about it. Charlie and Sigfredo's paranoid about it. Apparently, I'm the only one who was like okay with talking on the phone because it wasn't really hiding anything. Like, yeah, like I knew about it, but I wasn't like saying, like.
I'm talking about after the phone. Charlie calls you, tells you don't talk on your phones. Our phones are tapped. You guys get off the phone. Sigfredo goes out and buys you and him burner phones. Okay? When that happens, you and Charlie have other conversations where you meet in person. Y'all have other conversations through WhatsApp. What are those conversations like?
With the WhatsApp, it's just where we were gonna like meet up.
That was your location to meet up. Okay,
yeah.
When you met up, what were those conversations like?
Okay, we went to the Icon. That was a conversation about like the whole bump.
Okay.
And then that's what I told you, like I had seen his parents, but it wasn't to meet his parents. But I'm just, like I've never, like even spoken to his mom or anything about any of this. Obviously my opinions on what everything now is different, and yeah, like she like knew everything, or like him and Charlie were always talking about it, because why else would you always walk away? But if you're gonna involve me in this, then why was he always walking away? Because he was like protecting his mom.
Right.
The whole time.
Absolutely. But what was his conversations like with you about that? Okay, we talked about the bump. He told you were approached. Y'all had other conversations, okay? They approached the bump. You tried to call the phone number and you couldn't get through. I'm sure you went back and had that conversation with Charlie. What were those conversations like?
It was all on the phone. I mean, it was all on the recorded phone calls.
But after those phone calls, he specifically calls you, tells you, we cannot talk on the phones. Hang up your phone. We can't talk on the phone or our phones are tapped. You guys stopped talking and communicating on the phone at that point.
And never spoke on the phone again after.
You talked WhatsApp.
Through WhatsApp you did. And you said through WhatsApp it's only locations to meet up. So we know y'all have met up. We know there was other conversations because there was y'all weren't arrested right away.
Yeah, but he never said anything on WhatsApp either, like no specifics.
What about your in-person conversations? You met him in person. What kind of conversations did you have in person with him? After that, after you stopped talking on the phone, now you're probably freaking out, shit's hitting the fan.
Yeah.
People are being arrested. FBI's knocking on your door. This ain't flying under the radar. It's 2 years later. You thought you got away with it. Now you didn't. Now you're sweating. What are those conversations like?
I can't remember what.
You can't remember any of the conversations that we don't already know about that's already been in trial.
Yeah, no, I can't remember any of the conversations we had after.
Okay, those are the kind of conversations that are going to help you, because what you're giving us is stuff we already know.
Yeah.
Stuff that we're already aware of, stuff that we already have, stuff that we already have a really good case.
Yeah.
You're wanting help. Those are the conversations you need to remember, the things that we don't know, the things that we did not get on recordings, the things that we were not a part of, the things that we did not have any kind of information about. Those are the things that you need to remember.
Those are the conversations I can't even remember right now. Like, I don't.
But you've had years to think about this stuff.
I
It
think
isn't like
that's-
today. It isn't like we're coming up with new questions today. You've been thinking about this case for years while you're sitting in jail.
But that's the thing. I don't think about this case like sitting in the jail. Yeah, like there's.
You don't think about the fact that you don't see your
You've had
children
two different
for the rest of their
trial preps.
lives?
I don't think about this case while sitting in jail. Yeah.
You don't think about that?
Yes,
This
I
case
do.
is what caused that.
Katie, if
I
you
know,
want,
I
if you
know,
want,
I know.
if you don't spend the rest of your life in prison, you're gonna have to have
And
a
I-
real.
Oh, this is going into the pressure phase, right? They're hitting it from all angles. If you don't want to spend the rest of your life in prison, it's not a promise of a deal, is it, Pat? You shouldn't be doing that, Pat.
Believe me, I don't.
Conversation with yourself and your attorney, something, because you're not there. These are conversations where an attorney usually asks us to leave the room so they can talk to you and say, look, you've got to come straight forward. You can't be half partial truth and half partial deflecting the blame on everybody else. I didn't really know, but I should have. There are things there that you knew. I'm not saying you know everything, but there's things there that you knew, and what you're telling us just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't.
Well,
fit
it doesn't
with
make sense.
anything.
It's like
All of it.
The
doesn't
fact
make
that you don't remember
sense.
any conversation about probably one of the most stressful times of your life.
That's why it's.
Okay.
I can't.
No. You remember those conversations. Those conversations are things that stick in your head. Those are the kind you can suppress. You can suppress things as it goes on, and you're trying to focus on your trial. You know, you're only giving us what we already know. You're only giving us the things that we already knew happened. You're not giving us anything else. And those are the conversations that you know, because that's the most stressful time of your life. You're going around, your baby daddy's just been arrested for this murder that you helped facilitate, that did not happen without you. Okay, so you know those conversations. Those are the ones that you need to sit back and think about and try to remember, because those are the ones that we don't know. Those are the ones that are going to help you.
And I understand you don't want to take the blame for this, but
It's
you
not about
have taken
blaming.
the blame.
It's-
You have taken it. You're here. You're not getting out. This is the blame for you. Doesn't matter if you turn around and say, yes, I knew about it the whole time, or, oh, I didn't really know what was happening. That's irrelevant. What's relevant is what you heard, what you said, what you did with these people. That's what's relevant. That's all that's relevant. Is
You
what
can't get in
actually
any more
happened.
trouble. It can only get
And
better.
I
I'm trying
completely
to
understand
explain.
that this is the part that it's like I can't.
But you were worried about it being on camera a while ago. You got to wipe that out of your head.
I've already.
People already know you're on
Yeah.
camera. You're on camera. You're on camera in all this. That's irrelevant. What you need to focus on is remembering what happened and telling us what happened. That's the most important thing for you right now. Because without that, you're here.
There's nothing.
Yes, you're here.
Those conversations are the ones that you need to try to remember.
But that's why, even from the beginning, that if like I would just, don't you think I would have just wanted to cooperate from the beginning, because you guys.
I don't know why you didn't. We gave you many opportunities, and the whole thing of you didn't know who was at the door, whatever. We tried, Katie, and you didn't come forward. I don't know why you didn't. You must have your own reasons. That's why I'm asking you if you've been threatened. If you've been threatened, we can protect you. If somebody's threatening you or threatening your family,
I
we
mean,
can
now
protect
I'm
your
kind of
family.
worried about this whole thing after the trial about the whole Latin King or whatever, but apparently that has nothing to do with me. And
No,
Lewis is the one who.
Latin King has nothing to do with you. I'm talking about why you didn't cooperate to start with. Why you have failed to cooperate all the way until now. If there's something keeping you from doing it, please let us know. We can help with that.
Is it just you don't remember the conversations?
A lot of the things, yes, I don't remember. That's why it's like, and there was never conversations that stuck out, because if something was to stick out, that's why right now I know it gets frustrating, and I see it, and I'm seeing it on your side. It's like if I was talking to somebody too, like just say it. And I've always wanted to be that I want to be the one who says it, but if I'm not certain about it we wouldn't have even spoken on the phone to begin with if I was just gonna go off and just talk on the side anyways.
Right. My thing is it's the conversations after you guys get off the phone. The things that
Yeah, and there's nothing that sticks out to even be like, okay,
So when
get
you met
off
at the
the phone.
Icon that day, remember that? You met at
Yes.
the Icon that day. You
Yes.
didn't talk about the bump because the bump happened almost 2 weeks before that. The bump actually, he told you about the bump in the car and at your work, outside your work, he told you to do
Yes.
that. When he called you back down to Icon, it was because of a different bump. You remember any of those other bumps that happened? Because that's when you're on the phone cussing out, saying, I'm gonna fuck up whoever's doing this, blah,
Because
blah,
he was
blah,
just
all this other
constantly
stuff.
talking about, because he's thinking that he's getting blackmailed, and I'm here thinking that Lewis is blackmailing Sigfredo. So that's the whole frustration, and I'm here trying to ask Sigfredo things. He's not telling me things, and I'm here trying to figure out things to relay back to Charlie, and Charlie just keeps on and on about the same thing. So I was the one who was frustrated. That's the point, that it's like I said all of that, because it's like, you're making all of this like you're listening to us and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna call the FBI. But then it's like, what was I gonna do to call the FBI and what? Tell them what I'm telling you guys right now? At the end of the day, this is my life. Believe me, I want to get home to my children.
Okay.
I don't want to bullshit anything. I don't want to go through all of this. I don't want to waste your time. That's the last thing. I am in prison right now. I would
Yes.
never think that I'd be in prison.
So tell us about, when he called you down there, what did he tell you about?
That's what, nothing sticks out to my head.
There was a
that
bump. He
What
didn't
bump?
tell you about other bumps? A letter, a text message, a call to the office, those other bumps. That's when he called you down to the Icon.
But
and
he
talked
already
about
said
that.
that over the phone.
No,
About,
he just told you to come meet him. Unless you talked on WhatsApp, it's not on the phone calls. That's what I'm trying to get you to
Because he
understand.
already said
How did those
about-
conversations go?
but we were on a phone call already regarding that. There was okay, so his mom got that bump, and then the following thing was somebody, we were all trying to call that number, and I'm here lying to him that I called it, and then Sigfredo's lying to me about calling that number, but
Right.
nobody's really calling the number. I don't know if Sigfredo ever really did call the number, because then he did say to me something about there's somebody Spanish that picked up the phone.
That was
And
later
then,
on, yes.
so did he really ever call that number?
Later on he did, yes.
Okay, and left the message, or that's the messaging that was on there? Okay, so then he's telling me that's all recorded, there was nothing ever after that we spoke separate from it, and then he told me about that, Charlie told me about somebody going to his office and dropping off a letter, or that they need that information or whatever. But that was all on the phone. There was never anything
You
separate
went
from
down to
that.
remember you went down to the Icon, met him at the restaurant?
Yeah.
That wasn't
I
on the
think he's
phone?
just said everything that's been happening, not
Okay.
anything
Well, it was right after one of the
different.
bumps.
Yeah.
That was right after one of the bumps. That's why I told you that.
Like, hey, you need to
Fresh
figure this
memory.
out. You need to find out. He's pressuring me. Like, at this whole time, he's pressuring me things. Like, he's like, you need to find out what's going on. And he's trying to figure out if, Sigfredo is probably doing something, or trying to get somebody to get money from him, or whatever it is, whatever the cause. And Sigfredo's freaking out because it might be Lewis that's doing something. So,
What did
because
he
he's the one who's...
That's what I mean. What did he say to you to make you think that he thought Sigfredo was extorting him? What would he say about that? Tell us that conversation. That's what we're trying to get from you. That's how that conversation went.
No, because he's just going...
There was no conversation about that, you fucking idiot, Pat Sanford. I mean, that you can infer. You can infer from the calls that you have, and that's how the conversation went about. There was no, what about Dolce Vita? When he was talking about Sigfredo saying, what did he say? Our paths never crossed, or something, Like he's not mad at me, is he? Or he said something like that about Sigfredo. We got the whole transcript now, guys. So we'll be. Should we read some of that out? Maybe we should read some of that out. We've got to earn those coffees. Support the channel on buymeacoffee.com. Thank you so much, guys.
That's why I don't remember specific things that
Right.
he's saying, but he's probably, he's going off and telling me, you need to figure this out, you need to figure this out.
Acapella says Metrix should get a parrot and teach it to say Katie phrases. Hey, where's our fantastic moderator, Udi? He's the parrot man. I think he's still got a parrot, hasn't he? At least one.
Because in his head, he's probably like, okay, well, somebody's gonna out all of us or whatever.
So he actually said to you, like, hey, is Sigfredo trying to extort me for more money? Is he
No, he
never.
never.
That conversation in the comment you just made about somebody's gonna out all of us. During one of those conversations, there was a comment made about somebody is on the inside, somebody too close.
About the layers or whatever.
And somebody
You said this is getting too detailed. There's somebody on the inside that knows. Somebody on the inside that knows.
I'm thinking it's Lewis.
Okay.
Like Lewis is doing all of this. Like this, that was always my assumption that it was Lewis doing this because maybe he talked to somebody.
So you at no point thought it was the cops. You were like, somebody's.
I mean, no. I mean, like I would think that it has something to do with police.
You would think Lewis was flipping already.
Yeah.
But you're telling Sigfredo that. Did you tell Charlie that? Did you ever tell Charlie you think?
No, I'm getting this vibe from Sigfredo because Sigfredo is freaking out. The only reason why he would be freaking out is because it has to do something with Lewis.
Right.
Now, this is when I put two and two together that I'm like, okay, like, did he do something with Lewis? Because I'm thinking in my head the whole time that it was, like, whoever, me going to Sigfredo about it, I would think that Sigfredo would go to somebody else about it. And the whole time I'm just relaying it to Sigfredo, but wouldn't be stupid enough for him to really be the one who's doing it. Does that make sense? No?
Yeah. You thought Sigfredo would be the one in the process.
In the process, yeah.
To be able to get someone to take care of it for you.
Yes, basically.
Okay, so
Not
you looked
never
at him knowing that
really-
he has those connections that he could have got somebody to do it.
Yeah, not him doing anything.
But then he got paid and he's giving you money and you're giving the
I
money
mean,
to
but
him.
that has nothing to do with me. He could pay off somebody else. That's
And then
him
he
getting
gave
paid.
you money and then you met out outside of Lewis's house. So obviously at that point you knew Lewis was involved. He was involved. I think if I'm remembering correctly, these guys can correct me, you've said it before, like Lewis and Sigfredo they're like this. They're always together, always doing things together. So why would you think one would do something without the other if that's how they are?
I mean, they hang out with a whole bunch of guys too.
Right,
So
but
I
also-
wouldn't think that.
A whole bunch of guys wasn't at Lewis's house.
Did Sigfredo make another trip up here?
So confusing, huh?
Did Sigfredo make a third trip? Do you know if he made one?
No. I love to say that, hey, you know what? There wasn't a fucking third trip. Oh, I can't remember who was putting that argument out. One of the other creators was saying third trip, and there was no third trip.
Before the June? Did he come up before June?
Not that I can recall, but probably. I don't know how many.
Probably not.
He never told me when he would go out of town.
Did you ever
That was
have
the
to
thing,
go,
being
did you
out of
ever have
town.
to go get more money from Charlie prior to the murder?
I did lie about one time to Charlie. I was with Sigfredo, me.
And that whole thing about fucking Sigfredo going behind the Markel house and into a watered ditch to collect a bag of money. Come on. You know what that was? Some eyeball witness got the wrong end of the stick, misreported, and now people are running with it. Just annoys me so much. The fuck? Wendy left a bag of money in a watered ditch? I mean, fuck off.
And him got back together, and then that's now that you said out of town, it was always out of town. So then that gave me an assumption that it wasn't in Miami. Like I have to get out of town. Anything he was gonna do, any type of business or whatever, it's like he was going out of town.
So what'd you lie about?
Oh, I lied to Charlie about needing money for when but we ended up taking the kids out, like staying somewhere else, and then that was
So you lied about
besides
taking
that-
the money for this, but it was actually for you guys to go on vacation or go do something.
Yeah, like we just like stayed somewhere, like, rented a hotel or whatever, like with the kids.
Okay.
So it was never like a trip.
But did you ever get money from him on a different time?
This is from Sigfredo?
No, from Charlie.
Charlie
For
another trip,
like April or May or anything like that.
Except for you ever take money
Oh, right now.
to do any kind of other stuff other than the June trip and then the murder? Was there any other time that you asked for money for him to do whatever preparations he needed to?
Yeah. No, I don't know. I'm not certain.
Okay, but that's what they're asking, is any other
Yeah,
time that he needed money for preparation?
I'm thinking in my head that maybe it has happened, but I'm not for certain, so I don't wanna say. Yeah, because the Secreto has mentioned, times like, hey, I'm gonna need money, I need, to get out of town. Like he'd always just say, get out of town. Like when he said that, like that just triggered like
this is what
like
it's
something
for.
that he would say, out of town. I'd be like, oh, okay, and then I just relay it back. So it might have happened where there's another time before that,
Okay.
but I'm just not certain. I know I lied about that one time about him going out of town, but it wasn't really for that. Like we ended up going out with the kids and just used that money to go out with the kids.
Okay.
Yeah, I know those reports, Satellite Man. I just don't believe any of them. You've got misinformation to Lewis. It just there's nowhere near enough to confirm that third trip, and I don't believe it happened.
So I'm so
You're fine.
it's not that. It's just that I want to get to the bottom of this too.
Here's
and
the
it's
thing, like he said, okay, so before you were in county, you were worried about, like, if something you remember, you get back and you remember and you'd be afraid to write it down because people will steal it, because you're worried about it hindering your case. Okay, your case is how it is now.
Yeah,
With you here, and after talking to us, if something comes to your mind, whatever, I think you guys get stationery and stuff in there, start writing it down. Reach back out to your attorney or whichever.
Talk to Chris.
That's why I just don't ever think that there was,
because you're gonna have a lot of time to think. Like you're gonna.
But it's like I know you guys are kind of getting frustrated about the whole situation.
You're going to have a lot of time to think, okay? So you go and think for 30 years, come back to us.
Of like conversations that like occurred. There was nothing that like really stuck out that like why would, for that, we wouldn't have never spoken on the phone to begin with. A lot of the conversation was already on the phone. So obviously I was free to want to talk about all of this stuff on the phone because I wasn't really in fear of something happening. I'm feeding off of both of them freaking out and I'm trying to figure it out with them, but they're not telling me the facts. And this is why the whole thing of like me cooperating and stuff from the beginning, but I don't really have all the facts. Like right now I'm back in square one. I don't have the specific facts, but from what I just relayed. And now you're saying that
from beginning to end of all this, anything that you think of or you remember is what I'm talking about. Anything that's gonna come to mind that you didn't think of, because you said you suppressed a lot of it. And then you'd go back and then you're thinking like, oh yeah, this happened, oh yeah, that happened, and then you forget it again when it's time to come back up. Those are the thoughts that I'm talking about to write down and kind of keep note of, because those are things you don't want to risk forgetting them again, and now you remember them. And those are the things you need to reach out to Chris and when you have those, so that way you can. Because if it's something that we don't know, something that hasn't already been out here, something we haven't already discussed with you, or has been brought up in trial that you know that we have, you've seen everything we've got, okay?
We're gonna leave here and think of questions we forgot to ask. Sure. It's inevitable. It's gonna happen to all of us, so.
Yeah, and I had a whole bunch of questions that I wanted to ask you guys too, specifically with the whole thing too, like,
Yeah, are you going to let me out of prison? That's my first question, okay? Second question, when?
with like, I have a lot of questions about Secreto, but obviously nobody's spoken to Secreto. I wish I would have just asked these questions. Believe me, I'm the one who's at the end of the day where it's like if I would have just asked questions, or if I would have just been more like, like instead of like bullshitting about it around that time, like I wasn't taking like, and that's what I'm telling you. Like I'm looking at it back now, like I feel stupid. Because the whole time I'm like not asking the same questions, and I'm in this, but I'm not really taking it seriously. Like I'm just like, oh, okay, like, and it's not something that shouldn't have been taken seriously. Like this is obviously it led up to this situation right now, but these are things that like I want you guys to go up to Secreto and ask these questions. Those are the stuff that only he can answer, and then why he was saying the things that he said. Yeah. I still talk to his mom every now
Try
and then.
her.
No, but that's the thing. It's like I try to relay, like, you know, I can't have a conversation with him. Is that like not allowed? I don't know how we're
That's a sticky wicket. We'll have to look at that. I don't know how we would accomplish that. I know the prisons don't allow you to contact.
I know,
each
like,
other.
not to have prison, but in this situation, like, we have children together.
I don't know.
I've got communication with him. Like, I don't really have that direct communication. I'm having a hard time with my mother-in-law because of the fact that it's like my family's trying.
I'm having a hard time with my mother-in-law? Well, fucking welcome to the club. Anyone could say that.
Protect my children, and that's my number one priority, is the protection of my children. So they're not really comfortable with, you know, the whole thing with Sigfredo's mom.
Oh,
Let
she
alone
tried
with
to steal.
Sigfredo. I mean, yeah, but she lives in California now. This has caused a lot.
So let's make her
Issues.
kind of not want to talk and have conversations with you because she can't see the
I mean,
kids.
it's just very hard because then it's like I'm, again, in the middle, because it's like I want my children to have their grandparent, but it's like at the same time, I'm getting frustrated because it's like I don't want this ongoing thing and anything to mess this whole situation up where I don't know how much more screwed I could get, but it's, you know, like I just didn't
Not
want
much.
anything to hinder that.
Right.
And
Hinder what? Fucking life plus 30 years. I didn't want anything to hinder my chances. Your chances of what?
like I said, I know you guys perceive it in all these different ways, and it's like I can even tell just from your. I'm frustrated with myself. I see the frustration, and I've been through, and I'm not a complainer. I don't want to complain like, oh my God, I've been through all of. Yes, it's been hell in here, and I've had to put away a lot of things, and it's like, yeah, I suppress all of those feelings, and I want to help. Like, yes, I want an end to this whole situation, but there's a lot.
More than 6 years. 6 years and 2 months, I think she's been in. 2 trials, major stress, fucking lot of solitary around the trials, certainly.
Questions that I really cannot answer, and it's from what I remember. You know, granted, if I go back in the dorm and I think back about.
Plus going in through the whole fucking social distancing thing. Remember when Sarah Boone went into jail just before COVID hit? So the shock of, you know, social distance and fucking hand sanitizer everywhere, and I'm sure scheduling was changed a lot, and you know, fucking imagine going into jail just as something like that happens.
All this conversation, things stick out. Obviously, I'm gonna have that legal call with Tara and Chris.
That's probably a better idea than writing it down.
Yeah, just call them when you think about it. Call your lawyers.
And tell them, write this down for me.
Yeah.
Do something, document it.
Something to remember it.
Because obviously those
Something
calls are not recorded and nobody monitors that stuff.
And if from the beginning, I never felt, you know, like I was approached in a way where it's like I should have, you know, like this could have all happened. If I was in the beginning saying the same thing that I'm telling you now, you probably would have reacted the same way. Like, well, what were those conversations? Well, it's not sticking out to me because it was never anything. Why would I have to talk outside? Like I said, like everything was on the phone calls. Yeah, if you told me to meet or whatever, Charlie just says the same thing all over again of everything he's already probably said on the phone call. It was nothing
At what point
separate.
did anybody know that murder was supposed to happen?
And that's the part that I was telling Chris. I don't know when it transitioned from that to like me really finding out that this was, okay, it was a murder that was supposed to be done.
Okay.
So you don't know when that happened or how that happened?
Yeah, like when it transitioned from like, okay, that's what needs to be done. I don't know if I'm just like, it's hard obviously to be like, I'm involved in, you know, somebody passing away, somebody being murdered, and me facilitating all of this, but you know, like, yeah, I see the role that I played. I see me ping-ponging from both parties and stuff, and I see it. So like,
Do you remember Charlie asking you that it needed to transition to that? Like verbally? Was it, how did that occur? What over the phone was it? Or was it in person? How did Charlie present that to you?
I don't know. Like I said, like, this is like through time of him really like getting in my head and just telling that this needs to be done, be done, but not like, oh, like he needs to be killed or whatever. So
How did you tell Sigfredo that? How did you transition it to Sigfredo?
that's why I think that paper had all the information. Therefore, I never went back and forth to even go and ask Charlie this question or ask Sigfredo that question. This is like I'm thinking all the paper had directions of who the person was, what needed to happen. And that's that paper that I wish I had. And you saying that he was trying to show me that he had never showed me.
I didn't say he tried to show you. I said he had it with him. Did he show it?
No, he's
sat in
never
the car
showed
for
it.
a while.
Yeah, he's never showed it to me. Even in the car, nothing. This is
pretty-
the point that I would be like, yeah, he showed me that paper. Like, what do I've got to lose? There's not something that I would want to keep.
That's pretty well. You said early on that you didn't, but it's a pretty significant event.
That he didn't
Right,
show
I'm
me
saying,
anything.
yeah. It's a pretty significant event for somebody to go from beating somebody up to murdering, and you don't remember any of that transition process. It's just not coming up in your head when how it happens.
Yeah, like I don't. Like,
I mean, that doesn't be exact
I
specifics.
know I'm not. Yeah, but that's what I was trying to tell with Chris as well. Like, when did he get from point A to point B to this point, and then now that whole part is just like. It's a blur to me, but I don't know when Charlie said those specific words, or even
You know
it
for
coming
sure
off
that it
of-
was said, you just can't remember when? No.
I don't know.
And you can't remember how you talked to Sigfredo about it at all. How you went to Sigfredo and say, this needs to be a murder, not.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, he knew probably what it was for, and obviously Charlie knew. But I was never in the known, because I think from that paper from the beginning it was already said there. But they're not telling me anything. Therefore, I don't know when it transpired.
So you're thinking that the instructions, everything was in the paper, all the communication of that, you just knew that Charlie wanted someone taken care of, your understanding was he wanted someone beat up, you told him you
Not
had
even
somebody.
or
hurt. Somebody hurt her.
That's a really significant ask to put on a piece of paper for you to give to somebody that he doesn't even know
I
who
don't
that
even know
is.
why the hell Charlie ever even came up to me. I think about that all the time. Like, who comes up to somebody that they just met? It's like, how much does he know? Did he know who Sigfredo
Did
really
you not
was?
tell him about Sigfredo?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that he was, like every time that.
Did you vent with him about your ex, about your baby daddy, about his
I'm
the
pretty
kind
sure
of history he has?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've mentioned stuff like that, and that's why I feel like he knew more.
Yeah.
Keep going, you're fine.
I feel like he knew more than what he led me to know. He did, like
Right.
he knew.
You felt like he knew that you had that connection, that's why he kept talking
Why
to you.
did he come up to me? You don't think I asked my question of all other people? I would have just come up to you, I just met you.
Right.
And somebody that you're dating, why? But then now
So you think it was a calculated thing for him, in your mind?
I feel like everything has been calculated with
You think everything with
Charlie.
him, the reason he started dropping those hints to you and bringing that up to you is because he knew that you had the connections to make it happen.
He knew who I was with, and maybe
Well, he could probably tell from your fucking ghetto street gangster girl accent. You know, that was in South Beach. Do you know anybody who can rough someone up?
who he hung out. Like, I don't know. I don't know to what extent.
Obviously, I know you don't know for sure, but that's your mind. You're thinking
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that's why he came to you. That's
Yeah.
why he came to you, is because he knew you had that connection with Sigfredo and the kind of people that Sigfredo
It just doesn't make sense. Like, that's the part that doesn't make sense. How do you feel so comfortable? Like, you would never feel. And then that was like.
Did you do anything to make him feel comfortable with it?
No.
Other than you, I mean, obviously you told him you had somebody.
What makes sense is you telling him who
That's why
Sigfredo is,
he
and
had
how we're
been-
telling him you have somebody that can do this, and him trusting in you.
It's like he
That's why he comes to
trusted-
you, because he trusts you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay if you told him about somebody, you told him you had somebody that could do this, or you told him these things. It's okay. You're not going to
No,
get
I
in
did.
trouble for it.
That is what I said. Okay, like, yeah, I have somebody for you. That's what was the conversation in the car, but like it never even really went. Like, I think it was a while before
Well, yeah, October,
What
so the
time?
Halloween thing is when you said that's the part you remember when you told him, yeah, you had
Yeah,
someone.
it was like a while
And
for
then
him to even
It's a
like
couple months.
something would, yeah, for anything to even happen. But I'm saying like even the initial thing, why is it
Why
that
they
I was
initially bring it
approached
up to you.
and why is it that me? And why would you trust me? I could have easily from the get been like, this guy's crazy. He's trying to make me, like get somebody else hurt, and it's like I could have flipped on him.
Right. Was
Yeah,
it something
in
you
the
had been saying to him? You've been talking to Fredo up, or talking about some of your past?
It
talking
was
about some
too
of the
early
people?
on. All I could remember, all I could think that I would have told him is that, like, how the stuff that I was going through with Fredo as far as like relationship wise.
You'd be venting about him,
Yeah.
about all the frustrations you have, him not having money, him doing drugs, him.
It was a lot of things now that I think about it with the money situation. He knows that we were struggling. He knew that like obviously
And he's
that
throwing it
Sigfredo
around
has
and spoiling
no
you.
job.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that Sigfredo has no job. I'm having a hard time. This is why I'm picking up jobs here, there, whatever, and then working in the office. But a part of that is because he knew financially, like, I'm a single mom. I've been with Sigfredo for a long time. Like, I've been with him since I was 18 years old. So it's just like, it's our relationship has taken a change since we moved back down to Miami, obviously, after having 2 kids and stuff. And it was like, it got to the point where I got frustrated and I was over, but then I still kept up and I still, like, he was still in my life.
Obviously, he's father of your
But
children.
I think about it all the time. It's like he has to have known way more than he's presuming. If he's trusting me enough to even think this, and then I'm relaying it to Sigfredo, obviously Sigfredo's gonna trust me, but then
There's obviously some trust there because you did it. It happened. You didn't tell anybody. You guys thought you got away with it for a couple of years. So obviously the trust was there. The trust was built there for it. So the trust is there. Somehow there was something done to make him trust you for that. And obviously he trusted you because you did it. You didn't call the police to set him up. You didn't call to report that this guy's trying to harm somebody, trying to get me to hire someone. We've worked cases many times before where they have called, like, hey, this person's a little crazy. I think they're actually going to do it. You might want to get on this, and we've done it. So there's that trust was there.
I already involved Sigfredo, like.
Yeah, but you put trust in. You told Charlie that you had somebody to do it. Somehow you did something to make him trust you to be able to have you do this.
Remember any of those
That's
conversations?
what I'm saying. I don't know why he would have trusted me. That's why I feel. Do you
Just
think
some
that he's?
conversations.
I feel like, yeah, there's got to be something when you guys were talking about some topics you were on. Somehow, something with your connection that you guys had during you said y'all just met because y'all just started talking when he started dropping these hints. Obviously,
But he's
something
saying-
in your interactions has made him want to trust you.
Okay, but him commenting that wasn't it from the past before about him hiring like him, and wasn't that a joke, an ongoing joke he's had from before? So what, does he just go to different people at a time and ask them these things? Like that's the.
I don't know.
Because he said this
I don't know.
comment before he ever even knew of me or met
Right,
me.
so he said this comment before to other people, all these other things. The only
So
time
he's
it
been
actually
looking.
took happen, he's been looking, and then
So
it
how
took him
did that
finding you.
conversation go with you that came around? That's the conversations over time that is helpful to us. Is she ready for her?
Yeah, you gotta go read.
Us. It's helpful to us. Yeah. Well, I don't think it's that hard to work out. He planted seeds. She didn't bolt.
You got anything specific?
Just get up and let her know. Think. Breathe.
Talk to your attorneys.
Okay?
Think about the things that we've asked you, like the specific timeframes and like all the stuff that we don't have on recording. That's what we're wanting.
Believe me, I'm gonna have to.
That's the stuff you just need to think about
Yeah.
and then reach out to your attorneys.
You have said some things. You have answered some questions. It hasn't been completely useless. So there's, and some of it is, I understand the context of a lot of it, and they do as well.
I mean, but like the whole time
But I'll tell you, the three of us have done a lot of these.
Yeah.
And there's times where what I really think you're struggling with is just saying it. is just saying, and you'll say, yeah, I was stupid, yeah, I did this, or yeah, but just to say.
Good point. This is, as you know, I'm not a big fucking fan of Pat Sanford. He doesn't think like a criminal, right? He thinks like a cop. And if you want to be an effective cop, you should think like a criminal. There's really not been much substance from either camp in this meeting, this proffer. But that guy's question, he's hit the nail on the head, right? I mean, the thing that I think you're struggling the most with is just saying it. Just saying, fuck, here it is. Letting go. Letting go.
Say, this is the part that I did, and this is when I did this, and this. That's where you're struggling. And take time. Don't let us put it in your mouth. Alright?
That's what we don't want. We want it to come straight from you.
Oh, obviously, I get that.
And maybe, I don't know if we come back down here, I don't know where they're going to put you, I don't know if we end up bringing you back to Tallahassee, but eventually I'm sure we'll sit down again.
Okay, so in his trial, would that be,
Yeah, you're going to have to come.
I'd be called again for...
Yeah.
You would, yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And how does that work? Because I've always said in the, even with my testimony, but how does that...
Just tell the truth. Hey, I lied before. I was trying to protect myself.
You saw exactly what your attorneys did to Lewis. You can prepare yourself.
I can't even.
It is. But it's going to be similar. You're going to be treated very similar to what your attorneys did to Lewis. I mean, they are going to try to tear you apart. That's what they're going to do with everything that you say.
The important thing is, if you're telling the truth, then you won't have a problem with questions. Does that make sense? If you're lying about something and somebody asks you something, you can get tripped up easily because you're lying about it. But if you're telling the truth about what really happened, that truth will stick to your memory and you'll be fine.
And the whole thing too, it's you guys keep saying I have like a pot of gold, and do you guys not? You guys have heard my conversation, you see my commentary. There's no I could have flipped on Charlie from the beginning, and it's he's not supporting anything.
Then why didn't you flip on him from the beginning?
Because the whole point of it too is for Sigfredo. I don't know why. In my assumption, like I said, I was never approached in that way. I never...
You mean a two-for deal?
Not even a deal like that, but it's just I just never felt and nobody's ever going to feel comfortable about it, but it's to even be to the point where it's these are the answers that I had.
Were you trying to also not want to do anything that would hurt Sigfredo's case?
Of course.
So that's kind of the reason why you didn't, is because you didn't want to really hurt him too?
Yeah, he was in his appeal, and I would have done it right after my mistrial.
Right, so you would have, had you come forward, any information you gave obviously would have hurt Sigfredo. And that's what I wanted to say. So it was nothing to protect Charlie?
Nothing to, never.
It was just to protect Sigfredo, because you knew that what you're telling us here and what we know would be detrimental to Sigfredo.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's
I had my mistrial, and then he was going to be, for my assumption, it was going to be an appeal. So for me to even, I wanted to speak to him because it's this is the time now, an opportunity for us to finally get this over with. I didn't want to go back to trial. I didn't want to do that all over again. This is not just a trial where it's I'm not on the media. I was a constant conversation in that jail. Mm-hmm. And it's even leading up to that trial, by that time, you saw how it was. By that trial, I was done. I was deflated. I was tired.
Right.
I was in confinement, in and out, red and whites, and putting in suicide watch. I was going through it.
Yeah.
In jail, before I was even going to trial, before the trial even started, I was exhausted already. I wanted it to be over with. That's why I was you heard my conversation with Sigfredo. I don't know, that was one of, I was begging. I was what? Why are we, I don't want to go to trial.
Right.
That's it, let's talk. I say what I know, you say what you know, and this is way more than, this is nothing protecting Charlie or whatever. I'm clearly not getting any type of money. My family's tapped out with everything. That's another thing too with the attorney. my family is in debt because of me having to go to trial again. And yet people didn't want to let that go. It was like, oh, that he's still a part of it. And I get it. It's like the story and the...
How did you get the cost? How did you first get the cost?
The cost of what?
The cost.
Chris. How did you get Chris's?
Oh, I've just caught on what you guys are thinking about Sarah. You think Sarah's in the room? Sarah Dugan? No, it's Sherry Bennett, I think. Sarah Dugan's not in the room.
Attorney.
Oh, Tara and Chris came to me that the first time that I met him through, that day that I was in Broward.
How did they come to you? Why did they come to you? Because of Charlie, right?
No.
How did they come to you? Yeah.
No, Tara's always done cases with Chris. And
So did you hire Tara before that?
I hired
How did you get
Tara.
Tara? Like, how did you know to hire Tara? Like, was it someone refer her to you, or what?
You guys were thinking that was Sarah Dugan? No. That's Sherry Bennett, who took over from Isom and also interviewed June Umchinda with Pat Sanford.
I don't even remember how I got Tara.
Don't you know Charlie's attorney is in the same office?
I knew that. No, that Chris was in the same office. Yeah, he told me that after, but I didn't know that he was in that same office. I didn't know that. No. Yeah.
All right. Think hard.
My attorney
about
was
it.
Tara, and then she
Tara
brought
brought
Chris.
Chris in.
Yes.
Okay.
Think hard about everything. Talk to your attorneys, or your attorney, whichever one you're talking to.
Yeah.
We'll
I mean, I don't know what it's gonna be like. This is the R&O process over here, so I don't even know if I'm gonna
Yeah, we don't know where you're
Yeah,
going.
you may
Find
have
out.
to.
After-
Find
I don't know,
out.
she got 3 other places you could end up, so,
Yeah, but they gotta get you out.
yeah, you don't wanna put us in trouble too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright,
Yeah.
we gotta take that back.
Do we all just go at the same time?
Hang on, just wait till she comes and gets you.
Would it be possible for me to contact my attorney now since?
That's not up to us. It'll be
Yeah,
up
that's
to
up
them.
to them. They make those decisions. I'll wait
They
till we
always
get
do
somewhere.
that, don't they? Cops are like, oh yeah, sorry, not our department, sorry. Yeah, all those suggestions of a promise, yeah, you're gonna have to speak with someone else. It's like the interrogation tactic where they're saying, let me help you through this. We'll go to the judge. Let me help you explain this to the judge. Then when it finally comes down, you see, there's Sherry Bennett's, let's just call it a bachunga. There's Sherry Bennett's bachunga, which is probably bigger than Sarah Dugan's entire head. Okay, look at that. So let's have a look at the transcripts for a little while. How do we do that? We go to browser. I don't know if I'm going to read the whole 50 pages. It seems like a lot. Let's see how we go. Dolce Vita transcript from the top. Charlie Adelson, beginning of audio. If they had any evidence, we would have already gone to the airport. The problem is, even if they bug this, even if they bug your home phone, nobody is going... Even if they bug your phone, you're still not talking about any of this. So my point is, how do you get people to talk? You throw some smoke grenades, and then you get all of the cockroaches to run out. There's smoke in the house. And everyone's running and everyone's talking, and you throw a smoke grenade. Isn't it funny when we read what he says? What do you think? Listen. If that's what it was, it's very smart, because that means my mom hasn't told my dad anything. My mom knows my dad is going to flip out when he finds out. My mom hasn't told my dad anything. But normally, obviously, if that was a cop that came and spoke to my mom, and that night when he comes home from work, she would say, "Guess who I something today?" Or guess who paid me a little visit when I was taking the grandkids to school, and then after school dropped them after she was walking home. Yeah, she dropped them off and was walking back by herself. So this person had to be something, because the thing is something. A lot of times my mom takes the car and drives them to school, the kids. This person knew her routine, knows who she is. Yeah, someone may have come to the office. My dad works Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You got Wednesday twice. like, it's probably either get him on the beach or get him at the office up there. They must have approached my mom because my dad may be someone who is carrying a gun. So you never know. You don't want it to turn into a fucking shootout. What? No. And I can tell you, a lot of times I carry a gun on me. I mean, someone comes up to me, and Katie's like, I have mine right next to my something. Charlie, you carrying on you right now? I mean, I've got to start carrying one on my back. Why on your back? Like, the holster that fits in your back? If someone comes up to me, they better be ready to shoot, because I'm going to shoot them. Someone comes up to me asking for money in my house, and guess what? When the fucking police show up and there's a doctor, there's an oral surgeon standing there with a dead gang member in his fucking driveway, they're not going to come down too hard on me. And I'm not going to talk anyway. I don't know. I don't trust them. Katie, this is not like some chick showing off tattoos to your man. This is happening, and it's serious, because these people are going to come back. They didn't go through the trouble of speaking to my mom, out to hand her that, and then go away. So I've got two options. They're not going away. I may wish they'd go away and never come back, but they ain't going away. The trouble they went through, Katie, they're now, because something, they're going to be a point where it's just like, hold on, Charlie. Well, with a beard or with a badge? I don't know. Listen, if a badge comes up to you, tell them, have a nice day, officer. Listen, if they want to charge me with something, charge me. If not, I don't talk to cops. Sorry. No, it's very simple. It's like, if you're going to charge me, charge me. Or if you're going to quote me, date me, Charlie. Yeah, but things have changed a lot. You know what's changed a lot? There's cameras everywhere. So cops now, they have a fucking pension. When they retire, they're going to get a pension for the next to 30 years, medical, dental, and a salary every month. If they think that, the cameras look, how many cameras are in here? 5, I mean, they'd better be going in a place where there's not a chance that someone doesn't have a camera pointing outside to know the caption of something. What I'm saying is that this person is not going away. They came very equipped with details. Where did the details come from? I don't know. The details. Well, because it's one of two things. Well, what else could they, the cops and you, give something information? Okay, I'm going to tell them that my brother did it. I'll go right now and tell them. They're going to say, can you prove it? And I'm going to say, no. Did you know what kind of gun it was used? I say, no. Did you see your brother do it? No. How do you know it was him? He told me. Okay, he told you. That's called second-hand knowledge. And it's not even admissible. Okay, he told you. What did he tell you? He said I did it. Even if I went in and said my brother said he did it, you've got to prove it. You've got to put the person at the scene. You've got to understand, in order to prove it, you have to put the person at the scene at the time, not in the car. Because the fact is, it's like, even if, let's say you just sat in the car, right? And then I go ahead and I commit a crime. And then I go, but your DNA is in the car. And I go, yeah, Katie was in my car and she got out and she did this horrible crime. Okay, then they come and get the DNA in the car and go, oh, Katie was in the car. No, Katie sat in the car for 2 minutes and they got in the AC and then they got out of the car. Katie had nothing to do with me robbing the Burger King. So even if I can prove that, yeah, Katie was with me, can you put Katie at the Burger King? I can put Katie, I can say that she sat in the car, yeah. What you need to do is get the little bit of evidence from you having been in the car, and then they bring you into an interrogation. They're like, listen, we know that you were in the fucking car, and you were in that car such and such a day. We know we've got your DNA, even if your DNA, your fingerprints, your fucking hair is all over that fucking car. That proves, yeah, congratulations, you were in the car. It's not a crime to sit in the car, okay? You know what I mean? My mom could have sat in the car too. It's not a crime. They have to prove it. They have to put you at the scene at that date. 2, they said the guy's name was 2-0. I don't even know who the fuck it is. Is there just 2-0? Tudo's incarcerated now. And I know that you've been helping out Katie and helping your family with, and helping your family has been helping out Katie and her family. Now Tudo's family needs your help. My mom was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he goes, well, maybe this will refresh your memory. And he handed it to her. And she said, something respect, something well spoken, like polite. She goes, something polite and well spoken. I said, did he act like a thug, or did he have talk with like a thick Spanish accent or anything? She said no. I said, was he white or Hispanic? She said he was white, but he could have been Hispanic. but that something, yeah, couldn't say. I mean, everybody in Miami is Hispanic, so it's like you can't tell. I talk to you on the phone, and it's like talking to some, like, Marie from West Side Story. Like, it could have been like. So he was, wasn't strong-skinned. She hadn't fucking something, sounding something, which was recognizable. With no glasses, I said. No glasses, no hat. She said, well dressed. Well dressed? Yeah, he wasn't like you would have looking at your... he wasn't like you would have looking at and you're like, oh, he's a thug. No, she said he was wearing like a shirt and some kind of, like a little vest or kind of thing, like a little jacket. She said he was broad. My mom's like he was big. My mom's walking away and my mom goes my mom goes to the right and he goes like this. She said he turned and my mom's like, oh, sorry, sir. Like this. And then goes my mom like, sorry, and he's like, Mrs. Adelson? And she's like, yes. He goes, I need to talk with you. Okay, so my mom thought it was like a process server. Katie, for $19, if I entered your mom's name and address in the fucking computer, it costs $19 to find out where they probably rented an apartment. Under their names, so it's probably in the registry or whatever. So it's like, you know, when you're online and it's like 19 or $29.99, find anyone you want. That's all you do. And it shows where they're registered at, and then you locate them. And you go online, pull up a picture, and then you sit outside and you wait. And you know what their kids look like, because guess what? They're online too. So Katie, they'll be back. These people know about whoever it is knows information. Catherine, you know what I mean? And there's not a lot of people that know much about Charlie. They didn't mention my name, which makes me think that these people only know part of the story. Or they think they know part of the story. Do you think that, let me ask you a question. When everybody was there the next day, did any of you take any money? It's not like you're driving around in a Bentley, cruising around in a mega yacht, you know. Someone, he must at some point, because otherwise he would have no idea that I had anything to do with. Is this the extortion? He's talking to her about being extorted. The extortion never went up, and Katie was always broke. I feel like, and by the way, that you're describing it like how they well-dressed, number one. That's not something like, yeah. Well, you can know some things about anything. The problem is this, okay? So this is go tell the cops. They're going to ask you, where's the weapon at? You're going to say, I don't know. How do you know who pulled the trigger? You say a name. Okay. How can you? Did you witness it? And the person is going to say no. The question is, how do you know? So if you didn't witness it, you only heard a rumor on the street and this person did something. Do you know what that's worth? 0. Then what you do is you wear a wire. You get this person talking. And if you can get the person to confess on wires, then you have something that you're charging. You have a confession and an admission of guilt. Outside of that, there is no evidence, okay? You have a car, you can link this person to renting that car that's used at the scene of the crime. Okay, but you know, you have to also prove that they were also driving that day too. They didn't rent it and then lend it to a friend. What if you rented a car today? I go, Katie, can I borrow the car for the weekend and I'll bring it back on Tuesday? You go, yeah, sure. So you rented a car, you've been in that car, I drive it to fucking Orlando, I rob a McDonald's in Orlando, I come back and I go, here's the car, here's the keys, Katie. And you go, okay, thanks. Yeah, you rented it, but... Or what if you were fucking out all weekend and didn't even know I took your car? And I did something and I brought it back. Okay, my point is, I don't have any knowledge of what went on. Evidently, this person's either pretending to or does. I don't want someone paying visits to my parents. It could. I wish that it was a cop playing games. Why didn't they know it was me? Why didn't they know it was me? If it was a cop playing games or an investigator playing games, and they didn't mention me, they did mention your son's girlfriend, Katie, not mention me at all, and my family. And if they thought I had something to do with it, they would find me and they'd talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, go talk to the person who's involved. Not fucking people who aren't involved. And I'm not involved. And I'm not involved. But if they knew your relationship is with me, not my family, like I dated you, not my mom, you might be dating your mom as well, Charlie. The jury is still out on that one. They knew my dad's name. This person obviously doesn't even know we dated. That's the direct connection. He's way off the mark, isn't he? I mean, either eventuality, Latin King or FBI, they would both know. The direct connection is, who was her boyfriend? The 71-year-old guy, Dr. Adelson, or the 37-year-old Dr. Adelson? Yeah, 37. Let's go talk to him. Dr. Adelson. That's who they'd talk to, not waste your time with mom. They needed to talk to someone who knew what the fuck went on. And so, wouldn't it make sense that your connection to my family is me? Your connection to my family is not my mom. Like, yeah, you work for the office, but now because the checks are from there. And that's just because you come in and work on the weekends, which I trust that you're doing because I'm never there when I see you. You tell me you do it and the place looks clean, so you get your checks. You clean up, whatever. But that's neither here nor there. This person knows information, and if they are cops, that information, something said your name, and they also know that they're claiming that nobody has had something to do with it is incarcerated. And they also know that they're claiming that somebody who had something to do with it is incarcerated. Don't know anybody in jail. My point is, I don't want this coming back. I don't have a problem helping the community out, but I don't want this community to come back next month. And what I think happens if I pay the money, they're going to come back again and again and again. They've got to make more money. It's not a cop. We'll take this route. We already addressed it if it's a cop. If it's a cop, I'm happy because I've got nothing to hide. Okay. If it's not a cop, if it is a cop, I think would it be so easy to do? You've got to understand something, and they sit down and they tell the police what happened. First, they're going to ask my parents to take a lie detector test, which they won't do, just for the simple reason that those things give false positives all the time, which unfortunately makes you look bad. But it's like, okay, we just feel that way, nothing to hide. But 99% of people, if they have nothing to hide, take a lie detector test. It makes you look bad if they're like, Katie, you want to take a lie detector test if you shot JFK? And you're like, yeah, I'll fucking take the test and I'm not going home afterwards, all right? And I'm going home afterwards, all right? Make it quick. Okay, because you didn't shoot JFK. Right. And you're right. Let me explain something to you. If we go to the police, this is going to put a spotlight on the investigation. The FBI. We're talking about a big wig in the FBI, not like the first year rookie. You're going to have a 20-year vet with the FBI knocking at your door, wanting to speak with you and wanting to speak to your attorney. This made not only national news. This was in London. My family in London was calling. You know what the BBC News is? The British Broadcasting News. It's British Broadcasting Company. Actually, it's just British Broadcast Company. This was on the BBC News. Okay, that doesn't matter. This made the BCT News. This was on Good Morning America. This was on the New York Times. This was a big story. So, well, listen, you didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Well, prove it. The next question is, prove it. And I don't have time. I've got a problem with this. If you want to arrest me, fucking arrest me. I'm not going to sit here and show you the photos of all of the dick pictures I took of myself. Please don't. Why can't you have my phone? Because I've got tons of nude photos of myself on my phone. Do you think he gets off to his own nude pictures? You're not looking at dick pictures of myself all day, too. So why don't you come back with a warrant so you can look at the dick pictures you want of me? I'm serious. Don't want them laughing at my pee-pee. The point is, okay, I don't like cops and you're not getting my dick pics of myself. So have a nice day. So that's my answer, okay? If you think I did something, arrest me, charge me, and that's it. That's it. Now, I don't want these people coming back. If they are cops, I'm happy because I've got nothing to hide. If they're a bad guy, there's two ways of dealing with it. One is go ahead and contact Miami Beach Police Department. Okay, they'll contact this guy, they'll talk to him on the phone, they'll arrange for the things to be set up. Okay, and when it's set up, there'll be like a fucking SWAT team in place and fucking FBI. And they're gonna fucking take this guy down, and then he will proffer 10 years because we just have you on proffer 10 years because we just have you on tape extorting somebody. And now tell us everything you know, or else you're going to serve 10 years in prison. Is it worth it? Okay, next thing. You know, this person is singing. Other people start singing. As soon as they have him, he starts calling your name out. My parents are going to have to say, yeah, the guy came and he said that. They're going to ask the story of what happened. There's going to be police at your door, at my door. They're going to check out anybody who got bailed out of jail. And then it's not going to be cops. It's going to be fucking big boys flying in to see what they can come up with, okay? And then that's probably going to make the newspaper. I want to give them the money. But what I don't want to get involved in is next Tuesday he's asking for 10 grand. So this was my idea. I give you money, you contact something. Listen. This is why I'm saying it. I give you money. You talk to him on the phone. And you say, and because my head's fucking spinning. So you now know that I know whoever the guy is. I don't know who he is, and these people are going to call you. Say my friend, say I call the guy up and say, I got a call from so-and-so. I got a call from somebody who said you reached out to them. That's all I want you to say. I got a call from so-and-so that you reached out to them. These people, all right, this is what I want you to do. I want you to call up this person and say that I got a call from some friends of mine who says that you reached out to them and that you mentioned my name. And remember, protect your name recently. So what you're going to say is, I got a call from some friends of mine who said that you reached out to them, that you reached out and that you had mentioned my name. These people want to go to the police because they had nothing to do with what you're talking about, okay? And frankly, I don't know what you're talking about, but the name sounds familiar of who's incarcerated, so I'm going to give you something as charity to help the less fortunate. But do not contact these people again or they're going to the police. And let them know that you had to do everything in the world to prevent these people from going to the police because they don't know anything. And I don't know anything. Nobody knows nothing. And that the name sounds a little familiar, and that I'm going to help you out with some charity. And don't ever contact me, my friends, or my family again, or we will go to the police. That way, he gets his money. He also knows that you know everything, that you may have a friend who may not be so cool. What's going on? 2. Who may know people who knows how to handle people like this? And that this is a fucking one-time thing. And this is charity to help somebody out less fortunate. You believe in karma. Good. Good. You believe in karma, and that's the only reason it's being done. If it happens again, they're going to bring it to the police. Did you call the police? And then the whole time you're talking, you just say, I don't know at all what's going on. I was just called at 5:30, shaken over this. They're scared. And I told them that we're going to try and help these people. But that's it. You don't use anything other than the words help and charity. And then you're going to ask that you leave these people alone or they are going to the police. That's all I was able to come up with. If it's the police, they can't take the money. They can't take the money. They won't even come meet you. They fucked up. If it's this guy, maybe in the back of his, he knows, fuck off, times a million, and now he's fucking with his wife, and he's fucking with him, and you fuck with the king himself.
Fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck you fucking with me.
Hey, thank you. Is that you, Laura? Let's check. Oh, no. It's Buika. Thank you, Buika, for the 3 cups of coffee on buymeacoffee.com/truecrimemetrics. Where were we? Help and charity, blah, 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 blah. They fucked up. Fuck off times a million, and now that he's fucking... Oh, you fuck with the king himself, you better kill him because he's going to be a big problem. And he knows who you are. If he can't do it, he'll have someone else do it. And so help me God, if they fuck with my family, it's going to be like fucking that Nazi shit, because this will be done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Katie, I don't care what I spend, okay? I swear to God, Katie. Katie, the person doesn't know. This person knows something, something, big deal, something, something, little, something, something, may not know anything. I think they, something, something, what, no, right, so he knows I have you on salary. Talking about Sigfredo here, right? So he knows I have you on salary. You'd think he'd be happy to know that. He doesn't have any bad feelings towards me, does he? Our paths never crossed. I didn't know that the two of you would be working out. Kind of like, you know, it's not where it's like I fucking was around with you guys when you guys were together, and then I hopped in when you walked out. Like, there's a different story. That's disrespectful. With my mom, there's no... skipping this. I mean, Katie, I'll go to the moon and back for you. That's without even saying. I don't need to say that. You know what I'm saying. Like, you know it. I don't even have to. I don't have to sit here and tell you what I do. I could show you what I do. You know what I'm saying. Like, you know how I am. Like, I look for things to do. You don't ask me for shit. I'm the one that's like, hey, Noah's birthday's coming up. Noah? Hey, Noah's birthday's coming up. I got you. You know, I'm the one who's like, anything I can, you know, you don't ask. You're just... I'm the one who is like, hey, I'll sell you the Lexus for a very good price. I know you're having car problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one who, I don't have to tell you, I show you, there's a difference. So what do you think? He needs to know that it's going to go down one of two ways. Like, you're either fucking with me or you're fucking with the police. Pick which one. He said 2-0. And he helped your family out, and I know you've been helping Katie out. Your family has been helping Katie out, and his family needs some help now. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he said, maybe this will help explain it to you. They did not go through the trouble of finding her and putting that thing together and giving that thing to her without, and then just going to go away. It ain't going away. Listen, if it's the cops, well, the problem is if you give it to, like, if my mom meets him, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, I'll meet you tomorrow in front of the something building, and he just drives up and she hands him 5 Gs. What the fuck do you think is going to happen next month? It's going to be, oh, he needs your help again. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if my parents were really guilty, they may think that they have a big fish on the line. That's going to pay them monthly. And all they have to do is scare this little old lady, and who is she gonna go to? She's gonna go to the cops. She's guilty as hell. I have to let them know that these people are not afraid to go to the cops. They've got nothing to hide, okay? So you're the one they reached out to, and they said, you need to say that they reached out to me because you mentioned my name. Why would you ever want to reach out? Somebody that obviously, you know that would have been more like personal with this whole thing. Your mom. Oh, that was Katie talking. Charlie again. I'm more afraid of the long term, like knock at the door again and again and again and again. This is... Why not? Because I don't think they want to mess with his connections. Is he like so far removed that is he... You, listen, giving somebody some money is not an admission of any kind of guilt. Okay, second recording. I wonder what this index is. This is times a word has been mentioned or something? Why is that important? Oh. Shit. So what do you think? There's no way my mom's going to call this guy up, because you've got to understand, he needs to know it's going to go down one of two ways. Like, you're either fucking with me or you're fucking with the police. Pick one. He didn't threaten. He said, Tutu is incarcerated and I know your family, and he helped your family out, and I know you've been helping Katie out. Been helping Katie out? Your family's been helping. Your family has been helping Katie out, and his family needs some help now. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he says, like, well, maybe this will help explain it to you. Call me. And he handed it to her. He did not go through that trouble of finding her and putting that thing together and handing it to her without, and then he's going to go away? He ain't going away. What's that? What's that? I said, I've spoken to you since number one. Shit. Listen, if it's the cops, Katie. And number two, I don't want somebody fucking your mom, fucking something, your mom and like Charlie. Well, the problem is if you give it to, like, if my mom meets him, it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'll meet you I'll meet you tomorrow in front of the something building, and he just drives up and she hands him 5 Gs. What the fuck do you think is going to happen next month? It's going to be, we just read this. It's going to be, oh, he needs your help again. You know what I mean? And the thing is, if my parents were really guilty, they may think they have a big fish on the line that's going to pay them monthly. And all they have to do is scare this little old lady. And who is she going going to go to? She's going to go to the cops? She's guilty as hell. You have to let them know that these people are not afraid of going to the cops. They've got nothing to hide, okay? So you're the one that they reached out to and they said, you need to say that they reached out to me because you mentioned my name. I'm more afraid of the long term, like knock at the door again and again and again and again. This is, why not? Because I don't think they want to mess with does he still have his connections? Is he like so far removed that he doesn't have anybody that can call up that's like you? Listen, you giving somebody some money is not an admission of any kind of guilt. Like, it's like, listen, if you gave me money now, this is the one and only time. I don't know what this is about. I'm just telling you, you know how you can say things without saying it. Like, just the way he said it. Like, he said, he needs your help. He needs your help. He was there for you, and his family needs your help now. But he didn't want to scare her, and didn't scare her. But just his presence, you have to understand his presence. My mom had diarrhea all night. Oh God. She hasn't been eating, and she's been up since 2 a.m. with diarrhea. Like, how do you think that feels with my mom's 65 years old and up since 2 a.m. with fucking diarrhea? Oh. I don't know. My head was, when I was leaving the house, I literally had the bag out and I had it in my car with my car keys. I know, well, if you want, you guys can swing by my house later. So what are we doing? I want you to take it back, write the number down, and I'm going to give you cash. And I want you to talk to 712. What? 6570. That's the phone number. There can't be that many people. If it's a real number, I mean, the guy didn't have glasses or a hat. Can I tell you something else also? Yeah. What's shocking too is that so they can see who it is. Let me just put it this way. He's something, thinking he's blackmailing somebody. You're putting yourself out there to catch a mole, because when you're blackmailing someone's got a couple of options. To either take care of you or, hey, okay, you're blackmailing somebody who had no problem possibly doing bad things. Blackmail somebody who was banging their secretary, okay? Not blackmail somebody over fucking, like, my office. My office in the morning, and then I'm in Weston in the afternoon. I know. I'm going to do a special case for someone. But it's like, if you're going to blackmail someone that's cheating on their wife, don't come, because the thing is, these are the big boys. Like, if this is what I'm saying here, this is what it actually revolving around, okay? It's actually revolving around this horrible. So this is what I'm saying. If you're blackmailing somebody who potentially has had the ability to get something like this done, you've got a fucking set of balls, because they may make you shut up real quick. Which makes me think, without a doubt, he's not the only He didn't come there alone. He came there with somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And then this is the next thing. You ready? What about, so what if his homeboys wants some money? All he does is he walks up and he goes, Mrs. Adelson, and so-and-so's family needs help. Meanwhile, this dude's family ain't getting shit. We just get a bunch of scumbags knocking at my door going, somebody needs help. Well, guess what? I don't have anything to do with what happened down there. You don't. I don't know anyone who does. I don't know who Tudo even fucking is. Like, I don't know these people. So my point is, the problem is, once you pay, you're gonna get every fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry showing up going, hey, somebody needs help. Go to the fucking police. I don't care. Go to the police. Tell them what you know. I'll tell them what I know. Nothing, because I don't. FBI, 5 a.m, hey, you know who this is coming from inside? I don't know anybody that's got that facial hair. Just the 5-day shadow. And that's it, I think. We did all 50 pages. Fucking hell. It's big text though, isn't it? Crazy stuff. Donna's been up all night with diarrhea. Yeah. Last call for coffees, guys. If anyone wants to support the channel and everything we do at True Crime Metrix, you can at buymeacoffee.com/True Crime Metrix. Let's go to the comments. What do we have here? God, that was ages ago. Oh, not Amy. Charlie would end up having his own YouTube channel if he would have got his conviction overturned from Vietnam, surrounded with local high school girls. Yeah. Scary. Northern Soul Girl, how you doing? Jamie G, how you doing? It was available just before Katie's second trial. New recording sparked Charlie's arrest. Yeah, we heard from McElbean. What's his real name? How do we say it? McElveen, I think. I like to call him McElbean. Dr. McElbean. Doesn't that sound like an evil professor? The recording was not used at Katie's first trial. It was unintelligible. Arcapella says, I know that the AI-assisted audio isolation has improved somewhat in the past 3 years. The things we can hear, instrument isolation of old songs, is quite amazing. Yeah, right? Because they remove the bits that contain sounds of other things, lyrics, and then refill in the gaps. Yeah, I guess we'll shut it down for the evening, guys. But we'll be back tomorrow. And throughout the day, we're going to be dropping a few extra True Crime Metrix cheats onto YouTube and other platforms real soon as well. Many thanks to all the chatters, the super coffee go-getters, the super sticker givers, and the bulletproof Metrix moderators, each and every one of them. Tomorrow we're going to have Chief of Security back in the house riding shotgun with her newly sharpened axe. She had to go and pick it up from Virginia, but she'll be back any time now. Safe flight, riding shotgun. And yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Okay. The sun is up, a bakery is open, and I am going to go and get myself some pastries. Pastries before bed. Does it get any better than this? Where is the thing? Here's the thing. Okay, good night, everybody. True Crime Metrix outs.